Alright. YouTube should be receiving my content. I am a little late. I hope you'll find it in your heart to forgive me, but I am all set. I am audible. Am I not? I am. Alright. I'll just pretend I'm not half an hour late. Alright. So I looked at these a little bit in between streams. I've decided I don't really care about the Psychic Awakening. I feel like if I wanted to be a Psyker, I would have done it a little earlier. There was one of these, though. This one, I think. Yeah. It's just the strength bonus, basically. And assuming that this stays on and not just activates whenever you get it. If I just pick up regular stuff, regular HP buffs, I'll just get a strength buff along with it. Like if I pick up It Will Not Die, I think there's another one of these that gives me HP. Like if I would pick It Will Not Die here, if I can. I don't think I can. No matter. I didn't check which one of these I want. I've kind of got all of these that I want, I believe. I never use at all costs. That might be good. I use Endure a lot. This might be good as well, because I have power armor, so 25% of a lot is a lot. And the deflection is also pretty good. That may be good. I mean, that's pretty good. How's that scale? 2 times strength. That is pretty nice. When the warrior parries an attack, their warrior archetype ability. You know what? We'll take that one. Another exemplar talent that I thought was nice. I forgot what it was called, but it seemed to specifically buff snipers? Grievous wounds? No. This one. I mean, I thought that this already applied, but getting a 12% damage buff on Killing Edge and Death Whisper, along with the extra range stuff, that just seems really nice. And the Heroic Axe, which is also nice, I suppose. I have no idea which ones of these I want. I've already picked most of them, I think. I mean, that seems pretty passive. I didn't even know you inflicted exploits on enemies that were in your line of sight. Can I? That doesn't seem super great. How does that scale? Intelligence, I see. Well, the perception bonus is 10 or higher. Huh, okay, well that's very hard to do. What was it called? Masterful Precision? Yes. Let's give you Uncanny Sight. Because giving everyone that you can't see an exploit, it's pretty nice. And it kind of implies that I'm giving people exploits if they are in my line of sight, which I didn't realize. That'd be pretty cool. I have no idea which of these I want. I might just give both you and Ulfar. What's it called? Peak condition, I think. Because you already have a will not die, so you already get like a bajillion, yeah, like 87 HP. What, I don't know what 20% of 87 is, but it's like probably like 16 or something, just 16 strength. I don't know how much you have. You've got close to 100 though, so just getting plus 20 strength. And like your damage is kind of an issue. Like you don't do as much as Sig does. So maybe you should just take that. And is there anything you can do? No, none of these give. There were a few exemplar talents that benefited from being a tank, which is what I want them to do. Like, they're ones that give them massive shield bonus and stuff, but I think the extra strength is just too nice to give up. And I can pick the other ones later, 2 levels from now, it looks like. We'll take this one, because he only gets attacked a few times per combat. Yeah. You... I don't know. You don't have a lot of HP. $65 HP. That's not a lot of strength you'll be getting. I mean, it's more than 0. What were the other ones I could have gotten? That might be nice to give to your Liettes next time we get to pick one of these. Yeah, this will be nice to give to everyone that got peak condition. Because if I'm reading it right, you gain 22 wounds minimum. I think. Like, Abelard has an 8 toughness bonus, if I remember right. I mean, surely not, though, right? basically doubling his HP, getting close to 200 HP with this. Am I reading that wrong? That would be insane, right? Oh yeah, the critical crits, that may be fun. I forget what a lot of these are, I read them all yesterday. You are a bit of a dodge guy, aren't you? What's your dodge chance? Your dodge is 30. I don't know if it counts the base chance or the overall chance. I mean, 86, that'd be worth considering. Where was it? But, I don't know. I mean, I might as well take it. I don't remember what it was called, though. Yeah, this. Yeah, sure. Why not? And then... We'll take this one. Why not? You will probably definitely want the strength, but you're also a gun person. Guns don't scale off strength. Granted, I don't know how gun damage scales. And you have a lot of HP, and it's not like strength is irrelevant to you. So just take that. You already got close to 100 strength, so just get another 2 strength already. And... intelligence scales... demo ranged attacks? What is your demolition? I know it's good. Like, your intelligence is awful. Relative. But your demolition is much better. Yeah, we'll probably take that one. What was that? Because if bursts count as area attacks, do they count as area attacks? Bursts are not air. Oh, never mind. Because you use bursts a lot, but not anything else. think that's like an additional 4 damage or something, maybe. What's this? I don't know what entrench is. Well, we know area attacks don't mean anything to us. Medium armor does not reduce dodge. Ooh, that's interesting. Cool. Okay. Then you... I don't know what you'd want. I mean, this may be good. Because if something like, Bring It Down counts as an extra turn, which I would count, that's just a free 7 armor and dodge, and then free 7 movement, 3 movements. I don't know what else you'd want. That may be super interesting. I can just take off her gun, because she's never going to use that. Yeah, we'll take that. First time in combat. Just watched season 2 of Demon Slayer in only 1 day. Only 7 episodes. I don't remember season 2 being that short. Are you talking exclusively about the TV version of the Infinity Train movie? I'd believe that being 7 episodes. Also, hello, Beshkun. Nice to have you. You don't know? Did it have Rengoku? If it had Rengoku, then it was the Infinity Train arc. It had Rengoku? Yeah, it was the Infinity Train arc. I know you just watched the TV version, but I can't imagine it's better than the actual movie version. Which is what I saw. And the movie version, at least, was pretty good. I don't know if the TV version, how it compares. But now you get to actually watch Season 2. Which I think is better than Season 1, personally. Resolve is good. Don't like the English voice actor of Rengoku. You have nothing against them, just not to them. Do I know who that is? I think I can recognize English voice actors pretty well. I've seen enough dubs by now. I forget who it is, though. I don't remember. It's been a while. I hadn't watched the movie since it came out originally. Mark Whitten. I don't know who that is. I don't remember having a problem with it, personally. I don't really have a problem with most, like, voice actor choices, usually. The only, like, time I've considered a voice actor being, like, a weird choice has been, like, Thrag from Invincible. The newest episode kind of proved me wrong against that, but I still... The voice acting for Thrag is good, but I just don't think the voice 100% fits. Did the train girl have the same voice actor as Mahio? They kind of sound alike. I haven't watched Jujutsu in forever, so I don't remember. And I don't remember a train girl. I have no idea which ones of these to pick. I'll just take this one. Okay. Now I get to actually play the game. I'll quick save. Why is it still saving? There we go. Now we go. It's auto-saving when we go in. I see how it is, game. Google won't answer. If she doesn't have a name, the character, then they're probably listed as an additional voice.
Behind them, a long and arduous journey, possible only with the help of a Xenos guide, lay ahead for the rogue trader and his party. From one strange destination to the next, through unknowable environments, the mere sight of which could drive one to madness. Despite the challenges, they managed to escape the labyrinthian webway and find their way back. Home?
Why did you say that with a question mark? Yeah, if the character doesn't have a name, you kind of have to go by ear. Curly shaved commoner in worn coveralls eyes you with suspicion. He's clutching an auto gun that looks like it is one careless reload away from falling apart. Man nears the size inquires, "Who are you, lot? You're not bandits, are you?" Upon noticing a non-human in your retinue, old man grimaces with contempt and clutches the aquila hanging around his neck. Shoving around with inhuman scum, no less. Begone, you lanky freak! I compel you in Saint Cognatius' name. Saint Nicomedes? Keef's name. In Saint Dress's name. His body is neither strong enough nor spirit enough to bear torment, so I will not waste my efforts on him. How dare you try to threaten me, my guy? Old man flinches in terror, drops his travesty of a firearm and falls on his knees in sniveling grimace. Throne above your mercy, have mercy, didn't recognize you. What anime should you watch after Demon Slayer? I don't know. I don't know which ones you have seen, to be fair. I've been rewatching Bleach and having a good time with it, personally. And that's a lot of episodes, though. Just a low-born, small, humble man of only ever seen your illustrious visage on the holy icons of the temples of the capital. So who are you? JK, Death Note, not Demon Slayer. That's all you've seen? Only those three? Scatter your lordship under the woods, it tests soil. Taking great care, the old man reaches into his pack and pulls out a scratched opex with a long spike wrapped in my ear. Personally, I think anyone that considers themselves an anime fan should watch Full Metal Alchemist at some point. Specifically Brotherhood. I haven't seen the original 2003 one. The Brotherhood is just a really good anime. Anyone should watch it. I'm also a fan of Vinland Saga. That priest told me, 1,000 steps you have walked, thrust the mystical probe into the soil, say a prayer, then press the smaragdine seal. Offer 3 prayers to the Emperor, then press the ruby seal, thus will the probe test the land and tell you what minerals dwell there within. What does Janice say? Was that some other rotter abduct you? Who could perpetuate such villainy? Kidnapping his lordship? The nerve! We ain't heard anything here on Janus. How are things at the colony? Won't shame myself by complaining. We live. Thanks be to the God Emperor and your lordship. We pray for your health every day. The Masters, the Ultra Requiters. They're a dignified bunch. Fancy the learned type, though. No good ever comes from scholars, but on the upside, they are paying you thrones for your service. Can you believe it? I hadn't seen a throne in my whole life, and they are giving us 2 for every month's work. There's this plague going around on Janus, though. Makes your hair fall out, skin go pale, and your voice disappear. Turns normal. Emperor fearing people into right freaks, scum of humanity. Call folks like that wretches. Scary to look at. Better to put them all down. Well, we do, little by little. Poison. I explicitly said not to. How's the governor? Can't say I have the foggiest. Never seen or heard the governor's name. Still beats under that cursed heretic Festina, the bloodsucker. I need a shuttle and a telephone. And a jiffy, your lordship. Please be welcome to our flying ferries right over yonder in the brush. So our expedition's Vox Wizard is staying. And networking? Lovely. High-ranking officers beam with genuine happiness. Danrock steps forward and solemnly says, "Welcome to the bridge, Lord Captain. Like the rest of the crew, we are overjoyed by your return and thank the Emperor for it." The crew stares in awe and terror at the giant towering over the crowd. Some make the sign of the Aquila on their chests, others collapse to their knees with a prayer to the God Emperor on their lips. The sway of a pious shock does not seem to discompose Ulfar in the slightest. He just chuckles into his beard and glances around curiously. Marzai's presence alone is enough to elicit gasps of dismay from and whispers from the crowd. Jakari ignores all monkey reactions to his person, surveys the ship's bridge, examining every detail with ostentatiously cool interest. His marked casual posture is belied by the subtle and unusual tension in his body. Saturday's the only good day in the week because Sunday is just mentally preparing for school or work. Well, Friday is pretty nice as well, because you get to mentally prepare for not school or work, you know? It's like the work version of Sunday. And if you don't like Sunday, then you must like Friday, right? Heinrich von Calix approaches you. He's not looking his best. It seems he's not slept in quite a while. Lord Captain, allow me to express how glad I am that you have rejoined us, alive and unharmed. Captain, I'm so glad to see you. I nearly lost it when you up and disappeared on me. It's getting on by stimulants and recaps. I barely slept. Also, I could keep listening to the whispers for any clue of how to find you. The only other time I felt so powerless was when Lady Theodora... Pardon me, Lord Captain, I'm talking nonsense. Welcome back, road trader. No trial could break the will of the Emperor's chosen, nor stop him from returning to those who have put their hopes in him. How much do you know about what happened, lads? Not much, Lord Captain. All contact with your party was lost shortly after the supposed pirates boarded the ship and abducted your captain's kinspeople. Immediately sent shuttles and boarding parties to your aid, but didn't find anyone on the ship save for the crew, all of whom either had been butchered or driven insane. Its expression is inscrutable, but her eyes are fixated on you and you alone. Since your lordship's body was never recovered, we hoped against hope that you were still alive. Alas, even our most alert operators never spotted anything suspicious unless our ignominious failure put you in dire peril. His gaze, tense and almost desperate, is focused on you, but he says nothing. For now, at least. Dare we inquire about what happened to your lordship? I mean, this isn't a lie. I'm just not telling the entire truth. The Cursed Xenos did try to take their leader from them, and their plan did fail, eventually. And I am once again with them. So I'm gonna click this, because it's true. It's the truth, not a lie, even though the game says so. Death to the enemies of Von Valentius. Show us the culprits, and we'll tear their heads off the lot of them, and stack them against your throne, Captain. I took care of all of them already. I murdered half of that entire place, myself. Furious officers grab their weapons as if eager to crush the foes who dared breach the sanctity of your person right here and now. This is so touching. Marzai's voice is laced with venom. Where has the ship been all this time? Officers' Council decided to take the ship to Footfall, where one can hear the gossip of the entire expanse. Agents tirelessly searched for information about your lordship. Had we heard even a whisper of where you were imprisoned, we would have immediately launched a rescue expedition. While you were absent, Lord Captain, we made every effort to find you. That resulted in a number of modifications to the ship that have significantly upgraded it, thanks to a favorable deal secured by the esteemed High Factum. The ship's now equipped with state-of-the-art auger systems and direction finders from Kappa Gamma. Let's celebrate me coming back here. Do you see this cool power armor I got there? That was awesome. Begin at once, your lordship. Glory to the Rogue Trader, glory to House Von Valentius. Subject's triumphant roar sends a tremor through the bridge, as though the ship itself is greeting its long-lost owner. Factum smacks his lips awkwardly and adds in a quieter voice. Captain, senior officers will report to you shortly. In your absence, we received a number of astropathic messages and dispatches that demand your attention. Lovely. Oh, hey, I see. You have a new portrait, kind of. Kind of. Group of servitors suddenly stirs, her movements frighteningly identical, even for automatons. See you in same perfect unison. Hello, Nomus have come to welcome you back. Since you did that, a great deed has been done, a vivid imprint on existence. You did something very important. What was it? I got kidnapped by aliens. We feel your rapture, we share it. Did Nomus say it correctly? Servitor chorus, which sounds single voice, falls silent. Nomus appears to be waiting for your response in eager anticipation. Your curiosity deserves approval. Nomus have a poor understanding of the concept of servitude. We must reflect. The chorus servitors pause as if controlling the entity's busy thinking. Must go now. We'll come to speak with you later. Another pause follows, so long as the silence becomes more piercing than a scream, and the servitors finally break it. We're wondering whether you would manage to return, and can detect the naked eye with a naked eye. The moment when Nomus leaves the bridge, servitors stop moving and instinctively shuffle off to their posts. Danrock adjusts his jacket before addressing you. Now then, Lord Captain, shall we get to business? We have a number of items to go over. The Expanse is in flames, your lordship. Squadrons and smaller groups of despicable Drinkari raid our systems. Cults of the Hive of the Final Dawn has emerged in full force, wreaking havoc everywhere. Heard rumors of the fall of Sentinel's Pride, House Corda's world. Outrageous sacrilege, given how abundant and inexpensive Promethium is there. Strife has broken out between House Winterscale and House Chorda. Chaos reigns everywhere, only the esteemed Lord Inquisitor is trying to fight it, concentrating all available forces at Footfall to draw them into a fist that will smash the rampaging heretics and Xenos vermin. You said Drakari are attacking? Squadrons, both large and small, are invading the Expanse. Issuing carnage on planets, taking captives by the thousands, attacking ships as if something has poked their nest, if you will. Now they are lashing out. Know about Ichigo and Aizen? I would expect so. I mean, Bleach is very popular even now. Especially considering it's getting new episodes in July. And that's pretty fun. How fare the worlds of my dynasty? Heretics' malicious acts make it difficult to maintain astropathic contact with the colonies. Cult of the Final Dawn strikes everywhere. The sleeper agents are active on every planet. On Fiabos 6, sorry, I can read. Mutiny was crushed after a group of newly arrived prisoners succumbed to blasphemous propaganda, but other worlds stand firm against the onslaught of the enemies of humanity and do not succumb to their pernicious influence. I forget who Xavier Calcazar is, but the name sounds familiar. Who is he? Exactly, the esteemed Lord Inquisitor Calcazar, right. Has declared himself Warden of the Cronus Expanse and issued orders to requisition troops. He's made Footfall his base of operations, as it was most logically convenient point. The most logically convenient point. From there, his fleet strikes throughout the Expanse, destroying the forces of the cults of the Final Dawn and the abominable Drakari. Maybe all that currently stands in the way of the Expanse being reduced to ashes. When heretics laid siege to Euphrates II, hallowed forge of the Cognizance fleet, the Lord Inquisitor sent an enormous force. Now they and the Explorator squadrons, called from the front lines, stand together against the heretics in the battle for the sacred planet. Why are Incendia and Caligos beefing? When the esteemed Lord Inquisitor called upon the Rogue Trader to join his forces, Lady Ship Incendia Chorda heeded the summons, while Caligos Winterscale ignored it. Rumor has it his refusal was defiant in manner, served as a pretext for Lady Chorda to declare war on House Winterscale. You thought the third upper demon was Kokoshibo? That's the first one, right? The third one, if I remember right, is Akaza, right? Kokoshiba has 6 eyes. I think unless you're in Naruto, the amount of eyes you have is not relevant to your power level. Scale's ships are being hunted and his worlds occupied under the pretense of compelling them to submit the Imperial Creed. Surprisingly, for all his love of fighting, Scale is in no hurry to defend his domain. According to intercepted astropathic messages, he and his retinue are currently on Questa Temer, hunting down a Xenos fleet, Eldari, by all appearances. Anything else I should know? In fact, some lures his head in thought. There have been other minor developments, if you so wish. I will gladly bring you up to speed on the bridge. I will not want them to take any time away from this occasion. Okay, sure. Granted, in Naruto, there's a guy that's got like 20 eyes, and he loses the only fight he's ever in. Lord Captain, allow me to make a request. A personal one. While you were away, the choir master received an astropathic message from Dargonis. It concerns my family. Orsurians have been accused of treason against House von Valancius. How is that possible? Cannot comprehend it. Seneschal shakes his head helplessly. Orsurians have served the Rogue Trader dynasty loyally for generations. It's hard to admit, but the news has come as a crushing blow. Accusations were leveled by, or on behalf of, the Driftstones, governing house under normal circumstances. The investigation would not have required your involvement, and my entire family would have been... But being a noble stock, the Orsurians are entitled to an ancient custom to petition for the Rogue Trader's personal protection once in a generation. Personal protection, Lord Captain? Do not deny us that honor, I implore you. And what if you're guilty? Then the traitors will accept their due punishment. I've never relied on my position as an immunity guarantee, and I will not even try to sway your decision, as long as it is fair and balanced. Yeah, tell them I'm going to be part of this, and you're going to get nepotism so hard. It will be done, Lord Captain. Alright, what do you want? I just got back from being like a slave to aliens. Not even an hour has passed, and everyone wants favors from me. Does the rogue trader not even get a day off? Enters steady, sniffling, hunching her shoulders. She looks haggard. There are bags under her eyes. Her hair is disheveled, and her hands quiver slightly. Every few moments, some effort, she focuses her eyes on you and forces a crooked smile. Thank you for agreeing to hear me out, Lord Captain. Here's the deal. Did I agree to hear you out? When did that happen? After all that happened recently, the voices in my head suddenly flared up and started gabbling worse than before. Don't get the wrong idea, I'm handling them just fine, but I think I know a way to get them to settle down a bit. Keep having the same vision over and over again. Walking down a corridor, there's this door at the end, and I just know that right behind that door is blissful silence. All you have to do is reach out and open it. So I touch it with my fingers, I can feel the cold, rough metal. Suddenly I snap out of it and always find myself staring at a wall with some compartment in it or other. Behind me, and the doors are on all the way, and all the doors on the way are open, but I have no memory of how I got there. Lord Captain, I'll cut to the chase. Please help me find that door. I'm not joking, this is a matter of life or death. My gut tells me this is my last chance to deal with my powers, and if I don't... I want to ask some questions first. Absolutely, Lord Captain, ask me anything and I'll try my best to answer. What do you think's behind this door? I have no idea. Maybe it's some incredible implant from the Tech Breeze secret stores, or I don't know. Serum kept in the Inquisition's vault. Such a thing as an archaeotech, right? Plenty of it lying around. Maybe some of it could help me. Trying to maintain a facade of confidence while simultaneously pulling out a hangnail so hard her finger begins to bleed. Your visions contain any clues? Vague ones as usual. I think I hear the muffled cries of some weird birds. My head is sweating like it's somewhere hot, surrounded by rock-cretes. Everyday Imperium stuff, except it reeks of burnt flesh, fried cables, and chemicals. Sorry, that's about it. Nothing more concrete, but I think if we get close enough, I'll sense it immediately. Is the door you described similar to the door your whispers come from? I don't know what... Okay. No, well, I don't know. It feels different. The one from the visions feels very, I don't know, real? Can't even touch it. It's definitely not an illusion. It really does exist somewhere, and trust me, neither of us wants to open the other door, the whispering one. Are you sure that suppressing your abilities is safe? Oh, it's really not. I'm sure you've heard stories about how people tried to lock Psyker's abilities away for good, and how those Psykers would eventually go insane and explode into little pieces. But if there's a way, no, not to shut my door completely, but to make it a tiny little crack remains, now that's a different story. I can just feel it. If we find this thing, whatever it is, it'll be alright. And if it's a trap, no way, it can't be. Whatever, I'll go on alone if you like, just please help me get there. No more questions? I'll help you find it, sure. Thank you, Lord Captain. I knew you wouldn't leave me in a bind. As soon as I sense we're close, I'll let you know right away. Everyone wants something from me. Exalted One, bless the house Von Valentius of your Largess. I don't know how to say that. Of Spirit, Lord Shireen, thank you for deigning to speak with me. I didn't agree to anything. You just walked in. Jay turns unusually hesitant and attentively choosing the words that only a moment ago rolled off her tongue in an interrupted cascade. Here's the thing, Shireen. My network of trade representatives has been stretched a little too thin recently. Like a trifling dress on a whore. Supplies are all over the place. Orders aren't being filled. Clients are kicking off, and not without reason. Revenue's plummeting. It wasn't bad enough. My guys running things from Footfall have been incommunicado recently. An astropathic message has finally come in to tell me why. Some Ashmag or Ashmags, throw and smite them, has captured my gang, threatening to kill every last one of those hard-grafting whelps if I don't do what they want. And they only want one thing. My MTO in exchange for my gang's lives. She tosses her thick mane of hair and grits her teeth, looking more vicious than you have ever seen her. I'm not going to give up my certificate for anything, nor am I going to leave my guys high and dry. So I'm begging for your help and protection, Shireen. If I have to step into a cage of hyenas, I'd rather do it with a lion at my side. Did they not say you sent the message? Shreen, you know yourself that this is all astropathic chit-chat. It's nothing but a stream of images, thoughts, intentions, nothing concrete. If I don't need the name of the sender, I already know it. I can smell Falco stench all over this. Or else is Vladium's doing. Just that damned Ashmak style. How's he take him? Could be a bluff. Could, Shreen, but I've been missing the familiar stench of the docks and darling Octi in her bar. Even the stony gaze of the Exalted One that washes over you whenever you are on footfall. I'm homesick, you see? Tender smile vanishes from Jay's face, leaving a nakedly bleak expression behind. Exalted One helps those who help themselves, Shreen, and I don't want to risk the lives of my people. Okay, fine, I'll help you. I look forward to that day, Shreen, and praise be to the Exalted One for bestowing such a miserly portion of haughty indifference upon your heart. Anyone else? Yep. Does every party member want something? Sigmund? Apologize for barging in unannounced. I've received news that I must discuss with you face to face. News that you have to have with a sword out? You may recall that I mentioned that Achilles Galander was transferred into my remit by a colleague. Colleague in question has contacted me. She requires my immediate assistance. Why did you circumvent me? The captain or a trader may be in a position to challenge the Inquisition's authority over their soul, mind, and actions. But are road traders astropaths and Vox officers? Hardly. Okay, who is this? Emelina Lichenhart. I assume that's how you say it. Sage to the Lord Inquisitor. Oops. Acolyte, he was assigned to a different range of objectives in the Current Expanse. Don't take me, I'm just still trying to hide information from you, even when I'm asking for your help. Emelina is a sage, a unique acolyte of the Inquisition, who can absorb huge amounts of knowledge and store it in her own memory more securely than any data crypt. Entered the Lord Inquisitor's retinue even before I did. Talking to her is a strange experience, but that is hardly scratching the surface of who she is. Emelina is an incredible scholar, an expert on the forbidden and the illicit. Of course, she is a loyal servant of the Golden Throne. What kind of strange experience? Max locks his fingers and says nothing for a few seconds. Since birth, Emelina has been different from other people. Specials from the Inquisition enhanced her natural gift of hyperamnesia. There are certain procedures that can be done. She creates separate blocks of memory. She can then lock under a code word or even overwrite with new information. She can organize her mind like a normal person and arranges boxes on a shelf. One box might contain information about a recent mission in Calixus, another the latest decrees of the Lex Imperialis, another her own childhood memories. This level of compartmentalization might even seem somewhat insane to the untrained eye. But it's the price one must pay to turn an ordinary servant into a useful tool for the Inquisition. She's got movie autism. What is the forbidden and the illicit? Emelina carries knowledge that is forbidden to common servants of the Imperium. Carries a knowledge within herself. Cannot be entrusted to logs or cogitators. Said before that the acolytes of the Inquisition must carry a heavy burden. Come into contact with things that can penetrate and corrupt the soul. For sages, this is an especially trying ordeal. Emelina's hypermnesia has been enhanced so that she now remembers everything she sees, however briefly. After many years of service, she has examined and seen enough to become an unrivaled expert in this field. You seem to like her. Emelina is a worthy acolyte and an invaluable tool to the Inquisition's arsenal. I admire her traits and talents. I don't even remember what I did to make her more callous. I think it was something on Kiava. Calcasar's other agents too. I didn't fail to mention it. I deliberately concealed the information. Divulging the location of the Inquisition's agents could threaten not only the acolytes themselves, but also the results of their endeavors. Alright, that's enough exposition. What do you want? Emelina's message is incomplete and distorted. It is impossible to make sense of every word. The only thing we know for certain is that an acolyte of the Inquisition is asking me to go immediately to Fyoton. Is that the actual name? I feel like there'd be some kind of vowel in between the H and T. So Fyoton, that's a 6. No, that's a 4. I know Roman numerals, I promise. A remote planet. In her message, she seems to be requesting either military support or help with an evacuation. Whether precipitated this request, Emelina would not make it if it were not absolutely necessary. I know our rogue trader has more than enough matters to deal with. Nevertheless, I'd like to officially request the Lord Captain's assistance in dealing with this issue. I have no authority to demand anything from House von Galatius, therefore I am confining myself to a request, for the sake of the Chronos Expanse and the Imperium. Okay, we've typed it out twice this way, so I guess this is how you actually say it. What is exactly threatening it? For the avoidance of leaks, the details of the objectives of specific acolytes shall remain a secret. All I can tell you is that the primary threat that Emelina was dealing with in the current expanse was Xenos. In particular, Drakari raids on distant systems. Sage is ideally suited for gathering data about the chronology of this problem, finding appropriate methods for combating it. As for what Emelina is doing on Fyoton 4 specifically, I see the V and immediately think 5, but then I forget that other numbers exist. I don't even know any details about the world itself. Only that there are humans there, so either it has been colonized or a garrison has been established there. Cult of Final Dawn has been my top priority here, and my investigation has given me no cause to turn my attention to that planet. Well, what do I get out of this if I help you? Your concern for your pockets is deplorable, especially in such dark times. An Imperial world is at stake here, along with all the resources it may hold. You may requisition everything on Fyoton 4. I almost messed up there. It has not been touched by corruption, does not fall under the category of objects prohibited by the Holy Inquisition. My only concern is whatever problem forced Emily to contact me is not the world's riches. You hate AI, it sucks. You and I are of the same mind. Though, hopefully you just mean generative AI, like the AI that this game uses to decide how the characters move and such, like the enemy AI. That's fine. Making an AI make a picture for you, though, that's where the beef starts. Are you certain that you are asking for help for the sake of the Imperium? And not because one of your own is in trouble? I'm not inclined to display excess sentiment. Every agent of the Golden Throne is willing to sacrifice themselves if the need arises. Every agent of the Golden Throne can be replaced. What cannot be replaced are the results of our efforts, such as a message reporting that a bulwark of humanity is under the threat. I'll help you. Thank you, Captain. I'm confident that this minor deviation from our primary course will help stem the threat of anarchy in the current expanse. If only slightly, at the very least, we won't be outflanked. I've already spoken to the navigation crew and provided them coordinates of Fyoton 4. I thought I messed up there. But set a course for it as soon as you give the order. Alright, who else wants something? Oh, we're done. Mostly. Everyone wants something now. Hey, lads. Enough Xenos. Justice will be done one way or another. Heinrich's voice drips with venom. Slither all you like, heretic spawn, but you will never leave this ship unscathed. The bridge is enveloped in unusual silence. Officers on duty are huddling the corners, looking on curiously as to what's transpiring in the center. What's going on? Catching sight of you, the curious crew members dash to their posts, leaving only the senior officers in the middle of the bridge. For how long are you going to tolerate this filth on your ship, Sigmund? This foul traitor who has already dragged you into the darkness once, who has almost left your protectorate without its sovereign. Rogue traitor. Has Eldari heresy clouded your judgment? Treachery always means death, either for the traitor or the one betrayed. You almost died on Kamora. Your retinue. You know what became of them. It's high time for justice was done. AI sucks like Sora, Nvidia, ChatGPT. Exhibited but Roblox AI age verification. I mean, yeah. Every company is putting AI in everything. And they probably realize it just makes it worse. And I'm no businessman. But personally, I think spending billions of dollars on AI won't make you break even, because the goal of AI, for them, is to make their work cheaper. But they're spending billions of dollars on cheaper work, and RAM prices are skyrocketing. That is also an issue. Can't ever buy a computer again. Just press it, nod wordlessly, but do not dare to interfere. Now this is a fine spectacle. The Inhuman gets what she deserves. Let us all watch and laugh. Then you have to pay for the AI. Yep. Fortunately, I have never done that. A wonderful path has led you into a rather thorny situation, cousin. You used to beg for mercy on Kamera, and now you'll have to lick the boots of Monkey. Sounds, Xenos, your turn will come. Violette does not react to the curses being slung at her. With an imperturbable expression, she watches the crowd before her, then turns her gaze to you. Anyone else have any opinions? You know, Lord Captain, I'll support any order you give, but to keep the Xenos in the retinue, especially after everything. I won't want to cast a tense look on the lower bridge. If everything that has transpired because of her, it would not be wise. Crunchyroll subscription has gotten up since Sony took over. Yeah, believe it. Fortunately, I've gone to cheaper alternatives. Enemies of humanity have no place among humans. You know this. I see his hand shakes a little. She clenches her fist. The death is far too merciful a sentence. What I endured was far more terrible. You know, Shri, when a pet refuses to obey their master, they are usually put in a cage at best, or turned into a lovely piece of taxidermy at worst. Its behavior pattern of the Xeno entity and of specimens similar to her statistically leads to unfavorable and unpredictable outcomes. Juliet blankly blankly surveys the crowd. If she's truly sorry, there's nothing we can do. Marisai laughs airily. And now the Austriani will walk on our hind legs before the monkey. Glad I said it. Strap by to see what all the fuss was about. Juliet's face contorts in a mix of emotions, from anger and hatred to dejection and despair, but soon she musters her courage, and in a stilted, barely audible voice says, "My words will not heal the wounds on your bodies, and still, I regret what you had to endure because of me. Words will not fix what has been done." Interrogator grips his weapon, but he hesitates, shifting his intense gaze from you to the Xenos, and then back. Beat Tidal Wave as your first level Geometry Dash. If you're gonna play Geometry Dash, Tidal Wave by Oni Link. I doubt I'll ever play Geometry Dash. Not because I don't like it, but it just doesn't seem like something on my radar. But if I do, I'll try to keep that in mind. Digital footprint and all that. I can always reference the spot if I ever want to see it again. Xenos' apologies ring hollow. There's neither repentance nor truth to them. Well, I don't know about truth. Disappointed by the outcome of the confrontation, officers Officers present slowly return to their duties. Be careful not to get arthritis. I'm built different. I'm immune to arthritis. What do you actually think about what happened? I am sorry that my mistake led anyone along the path of the Dark City. I can see their pain and rage, understand. The words of pity will not help them. Only time, and perhaps revenge, which will dull their pain for a little while. But you have taken away their chance for revenge, Elentok, and all we can do now is wait. And I feel like I'm immune to breaking my bones. I've never broken my bone either. You okay? Your monkey have had it worse. I will live, and the wounds of my soul will eventually heal. They will live too, but their souls will forever bleed painful memories. Some of them may eventually forgive you. Stop it. Cannot believe that, Alantak. I do not need words of comfort. Words of these monkey do not touch my soul. Only your thoughts matter, yours and mine. You've done the strangest things without breaking a bone. You seem relatively young, and younger people are just more durable. You could fall off a 3-story building and be fine. Yurlia nods and gestures elegantly before leaving. Until we meet again, Elentok, may the darkness scatter into a myriad of new stars before you. That's everything? Wow, it's been like half an hour. I have forgotten to take away your gun. You no longer need it. Do you have another staff you can use instead? You can have the old staff. Built on a 2-story building 3 times, your foot hurt a little after. See what I mean? I was right. That was close, at least. Staff. I've got a other staff, surely. Are these staffs? These are staffs. You had a staff. You had the Orselio staff. Where is it? There it is. There, you can have this. And now your willpower is insane. What's my strength look like? 117. Nice. And I was right, 17 HP. I think I got it right. I think I guessed 17. Guessed. I'm decent at math, I think. And Abelard's thing is okay. He didn't take the condition, did he? Oh, he did. 80 strength is pretty nice. Okay. What's your strength, actually? Oh, yeah, that's a big number. 38. Okay. What are we doing? That is a whole lot of companion quests. We're in chapter 4? Oh, jeez. 2-story building. It's like 4 to 5 meters or something. That's like 15 feet, right? Ish. I'm American, so I don't use meters. I do know that a meter and a foot are almost the same. Like, they're not 1-to-1, but they're pretty close. Let's see. We're still waiting for Nomos. Talk to Yurliets. And then Darkonis. Sign whatever Idra wants. Go to Footfall with Jay. And then go to Emilia. Let's talk to Yurliets. Where is she? Actually, it would probably be good if I talked to Ulfar and Marzek, since they're here. Do you have anything interesting to say?
Broke free the bold from captors grasping. Dark cities, feeble dungeons, eternally disgracing. Flows now this saga in the hall of glorious feasting, where all extol the wolf mighty and the yet fatter cunning.
True, I think.
I hope you're not going to put off the feast. Our escape demands a grand celebration.
I tried to have a grand celebration, but then all I got was chores. What do you plan to do now?
Find my pack. As we speak, they are likely performing some bloody service for Calcazar. For that reason, I want to have a word with the Inquisitor.
Why do you call me Atbatar? I forgot how he said it.
This is the name given on Fenris to a pack father, a commander or captain. An Edfater answers to a Jarl, the commander of a great company. Since you are the one who commands your crew, and I follow you at present, I am granting you the honored title of Edfater.
3.2 feet is 1 meter? Yeah, I was close. Thank you for this honor.
Be worthy of it, and see that you do not disgrace this glorious rank.
Doesn't seem to have any quest for me.
Fenris Hjoda, Edfater.
Said 1 foot is 1 meter. I meant yard. I said foot, but I meant yard. I promise. 1 yard is 3 feet.
Rogue trader.
I guess I already got all your dialogue back then, didn't I? Tell me about your cabal.
Ask your questions. I will decide which is worthy of an answer.
You were the Draken of your cabal? What does that mean?
The Draken is the first among the blades of the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest, and the Drukhari who stands but 1 rung below the Archon. The Draken leads raids and wages wars against other Cabals, keeps the arrogant true-born and half-born upstarts at bay, and has the pick of any opponent in any battle. Irimaris used to have others in her inner circle, but I ensured that they all disappeared one by one, and that their successors were too terrified to take their place. That was when my sister engaged an incubi order to serve as her bodyguards. Incubi do not respond to fear or bribes.
1 yard is 0.9 meters. Yeah, that's close enough, you know? Like, when you're talking with smaller numbers, you know, how far did you say it was? Like 4 or 5 meters? You can just assume that's yards. And 5 yards would be 15 feet. No, it wouldn't. It'd be 25 feet. I'm a fool. I did math wrong before. Why did you hate Ymers?
Must there be another reason beyond survival and ambition? Kamora does not tolerate weakness. Kamora respects only strength and cunning. Either you climb upward on the corpses of your enemies, or you become one of the steps underfoot.
And she was your sister, I noticed that.
We shared the same blood, and we emerged into the world from the same womb. We were both true-born, and we both stood above the scum that comes from tubes and vials.
And why were you only the Drakon?
Keep your arrogance in check. Irimaris was clever and deadly, and if I had underestimated her abilities and strength, I would have been food for the Urgals long ago.
The very fact that she surpassed me speaks for itself. I refused to give her cause to cast me out as a traitor. No, our rivalry, our little game that ran since our birth, took time. And another thing, when you're at the top, you need something to stave off boredom. This game amused us and terrorized the rest of the Cabal.
Fantastic. What did you think of Travantius?
Tavantius was Irimeris's ally, not mine. The Reaving Tempest is his patron, and patron also to the witches of the arena. I've had cause to seek out his artistry several times, and each time with difficulty. Of late, he's been gone from Camorra more often than he's been in it. He was probably in one of his lairs where he hides his other experiments and creations.
I killed him. He exploded because of me. Why are we talking as if he is still alive? Where are his other lairs?
After Tavantius quarreled with the witches and was stripped of the Cabal's protection, his havens in Camorra were turned into a deadly trap. I imagine they've been ransacked and destroyed by now. His other hideouts may be somewhere in the tangle of the webway, or in real space. But that last possibility is madness even for a homunculus.
I was right, that is how you say it. When did you have need of his expertise?
When the grotesque of a rival Cabal ripped my arm off at the shoulder, when I needed a substance to wring the truth out of you in the Obsidian Court, when I had personal desires that only a master of flesh could satisfy.
Personal desires?
You are just dying to know, aren't you?
I kind of don't care. I was just a little curious. That's enough. What's a Trooper?
It is a caste in Camorra. Noble Drukhari born under certain circumstances. Their cradle before birth was not an amniotic gestational tube, but a living womb. Carrying a fetus for such a lengthy term is as good as a death sentence for a female Drukhari. She is too vulnerable to her enemy's attacks, and she is of no use on a raid. In Camorra, only the most powerful Drukhari, who are able to surround themselves with the best protection, can allow themselves such an extravagance.
Cool.
Farkaza Aziriesh, poisoner of Azdrujar, and Shaimish's elect, was one such exalted leader of the Drukhari. The result was worth the effort.
And how do you know English?
It was a punishment. One of my raids was not as successful as it should have been, and Irimeris ordered Tavantius to forcibly implant the knowledge of the repulsive monkey language into my mind. Supposedly so that I could at least benefit the Cabal by coaxing the monkey into their cages. 5 days I spent under a cerebral burner in the Spire's main hall, to the delight of Irimeris' entourage. I dislocated every joint, struggling in agony against my shackles. But I would endure it all again to expel this poison from my head.
That's pretty metal, but also learning being completely fluent in a whole language in 5 days. I mean, even if it was very painful, that's still pretty impressive. Tell me about all your titles.
Eviscerator of Illiridas, Blaze of the Barkag Kingdom, and Slayer of Corocius the Pale. Illiridas was a world inhabited by our distant Eldari cousins, until I led a reaping raid there. The Barkag Kingdom was a separate cluster on the fringes of Camorra before it went to war with the Reaving Tempest, and by the time I left, I was wading through the blood of its inhabitants.
Cool.
And lastly, Corocius the Pale. He was an ancient homunculus who betrayed the Azuriash at the behest of another cabal. That was not a military victory, but a personal one. In his attempts to make himself invincible, Corocius had sown inside himself the deadliest creatures from the depths of Camorra. It did not save him. I cut out every one of his 8 hearts and sent them to his former coven as a warning to the rest.
Nice. Okay, that's all.
Are you sure?
What do you plan to do next?
I must adapt to my new circumstances. And to this bucket that you monkey call a void ship. These alloy bulkheads. So primitive.
I know you say that, but I fought your ships before. You guys don't have shields, dude. What are you talking about? Okay, that's all I want.
Then go. I will find something to amuse myself with.
Have fun. Alright, that is all I wanted out of those guys. Who are all these? Okay. I think Eureliat is probably the easiest person to progress their quest for right now. So we'll do that. What did you want? I kind of forgot.
The Dark City released us from its thorny embrace. The wounds of the body will heal. But what about the wounds of the soul? Cruderach fell, and its demise shattered the fragile lives of countless children of
Assyrian.
Scattered across this part of the galaxy, hounded by the monkey, pursued by the Dark Cousins, imprisoned by the servants of She Who Thirsts. Hatred is strangling me like a snake, and fear is coursing through my body like a burning poison. For the path I chose is leading me down the roads of failure. I can neither hold back my grief nor rein in my anger. And yet, I am powerless to stray from my path. Pay no heed to my fleeting wrath, Alantark. When the will slips away, the soul trembles with rampant emotions. But I will resign my heart to meekness, for there is no other way a marked outcast can help their fellow Eldari wandering in the dark.
So what does an outcast do now?
On the trail of a monkey called Caligos Winterscale. Even a worm may harm a wounded tiger by bringing infection into an open wound. And the wounds of my people have been bleeding ever since Cruderach's demise. The spirits of my kin need a poultice, a hope, not the executioner's sword already poised to fall.
So now you know your world is gone. Like you figured before, but now you know.
I have no need for your sympathy, Alantark. Besides, neither Monkey nor my dark kin found the decaying remnants of Cruderach. Perhaps all is not lost. Perhaps we may yet bring back what has been taken.
That'd be pretty cool. Are you okay about Camorra, by the way?
I found myself in the Dark City after following the twisted roads of truth and lies. And although the truth blossomed like an ugly bud and scratched my soul with its thorns, I did find the answers to my questions. Those who come back from the dark of the webway will never be the same. But it is we who change while the surrounding world remains imminent. This thought gives me strength.
Nice, that's all I want. Right? Nomos. This is the... what's his face? Adra, Jay, and then, what was his face? Heinrichs. Let's go to Dargonis. All of our inventories are fine, right? Dargonis has the drugs that I want. I can always have one. It's weird. Did I not use it? I remember using it. Is this gun good? It's a shotgun. I mean, I guess it's good for, hemorrhage. I actually looked up how hemorrhage worked, and I understand it now, so that's good. I'm probably gonna kick Marazai or Ulfar off the team. Probably Marazai. Because having 4 warriors is absurd. 3 is pushing it, but 4, that's crazy. So if I were to add someone else into the party again, it'd probably be Pascal. Let's level him up real quick. You once. Additional damage. Equal to, I see. I mean, that'd be good, because he never hits anyone, so that'd be nice. We'll take that if nothing else. Huh. That's interesting. Plus 10 perception, huh. Can use Eldari stuff? I don't think so. You don't need it, really. Then you get all the other stuff. Okay, take aiming protocols. Let you actually be usable with your gun. Right? It's plasma and also weapon. That one. And then go to Exemplar. I have no idea what you would want. What are these? I see. What would a robot want? Yeah, that's not good. No. Maybe. Probably not. First melee attack each round, no. Probably not. This may be good. plus 5. 2 plus half intelligence. Huh. I mean, plus 5 to everything is pretty nice. Yeah, we'll take a plus 5 to everything. Why not? And then... if you also take this, then that means everyone's probably getting exploits all the time, right? Yeah, sure. Already halfway to another level. Why's your willpower cut? I see. Okay, cool. Well, actually, you are using plasma or melta weapon, yeah? You're a power weapon. And you're an arc weapon. Well, that is an issue, is it not? Plasma weapons. Do you use plasma? Yes. How far does plasma go? These are one-handed. Is there a two-handed plasma weapon? Melta weapons are also good. You may want Melta. That's very nice. Here, take that for now. Did that thing I get only count for only count for ranged weapons? What was it? I'm not seeing it. What's it down here? Was it aiming? Coolest skill, ranged attacks. I see. Okay, so no reason to care about the axe. The axe is whatever. Do we have better plasma guns though? Seems like a bit of a side grade. Well, kind of. If I cared more about offense, this might be a better weapon. More about offense on Pascal specifically. No, this isn't, plasma. Never mind. Yeah, I think this might be the best thing for you. Accessories. Do you want anything? 7 dodge. What's that scale off? Intelligence, you'll probably want that. Scroll over everything. I think everything past here will probably actually sort by, we'll go a little further. Okay, I don't think I want anything else on you. Okay. We are now going to go to Dargonis. Because Abelard's my guy, so we're going to prioritize this thing. So, since we're here, do you have... What? Okay, whatever. There's nothing else here, I believe. To Dargonis. I should have a direct. Yes. Head on over. Captain, there's an emergency on the officer's deck. Huh. Just colony and click the event anytime. You can call it more. Okay. Huh. Okay. At the officer's deck. Numerous victims lost communication. The Voidsmen report warp voices filling the departments, but this is not a warp breach. This is the Xenos you took aboard on Janus. It's gone mad and went on a rampage. I have 2 fairly reliable witness accounts. According to one, the Xenos suddenly assaulted the crew members, getting them seemingly at random. Other claims that there are other survivors who barricaded themselves in the adjacent compartments. Forces managed to isolate the raving Xenos in a dead end, but they have been unable to pacify them so far. What will your orders be? Such are the consequences of ill-considered actions born out of the lack of faith in the God Emperor's laws. I am ready to stop the accursed Xenos rampage personally and repay every life he has taken. Why am I not surprised? Henry's voice is oozing with poison. You're a traitor, cannot bring back your subjects, but I will gladly aid you in disposing of the rabid creature before it mauls even more people. General realized a thin sigh of realization, afraid. Ellen talk, I know that the reason behind Marizai's madness is. I know what the reason is. Please, I must accompany you to the compartment. I will help you deal with the Dark One. I'll explain yourself here, Elias. I'll hear you out. Do you remember what happened during my very first voyage aboard your ship? When I found myself beyond the Dale, the servants of She Who Thirsts descended upon the fragile shell that is protecting your vessel from the outside horrors and managed to break through. The soul of an Eldari shines like a beacon of the night, drawing the gaze of Sullen Thresh and stoking her thirst. Ways of Ossuran keep us safe from her claws, but the Dark Ones never sought to restrain their desires for excess and pleasure in order to acquire at least some protection against our eternal enemy. When the voices of She Who Thirsts called out to me, I found refuge in meditation. I think Marizai started feeding his withering soul instead, using the only method he knew. I'm going. A squad of the enforcers who blocked the Xenos in the dead-end corridor are waiting at the deck. I beg you to be careful, Captain, and may the God Emperor watch over you. Don't bring Idra. Do not bring Idra. Bring Pascal. Perfect. Alright, lads. Let's quick save, just in case I do something to permanently kill him, because I'm sure that's an option. There's I. How's it going, dude? Oh, see ya, ghost. Somebody open the door before he gets me. Okay, I couldn't see you behind Ulfar, but I'll trust you. I'll trust that
Keep a sharp eye.
Whoa. Someone had a decent gun. On my ship?
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Are there any other purple bodies? Oh, there's a barricade over that one. I see. There's only one way to go. Hey lads, how we doing? Lord Captain, God Emperor be with you, and with all of us too. Enforcer can barely suppress the tremors running through his body. Only he can deal with this spawn. Permission to report, your lordship. Started a few watches after the translation. Well, actually, they say this associate of yours had been acting strangely even before that. As if he had started hearing things. He was swiveling back and forth, barking something in Asino's tongue. Then he grabbed his blade and sliced his hand open, his own hand. Then he suddenly howled and lunged at the people nearby. The voice of she who thirsts, heard the call. Any of our kind who find themselves beyond the veil will become tempting prey for your silent thresh. The technology that protects the ship from her baleful influence cannot drown out the sound of her maddening voice. Where is he now? Oh, the Xenos. He's holed up in there. That's at the barricaded gate. Crowd a number of crewmen in there like Roxas to a slaughterhouse. We could hear the screams. All we could hear were screams. So we couldn't save them. Locked him in there so he couldn't crawl back out unless he finds a crack to squeeze through. Prospect of having a rabid Xenos crawling inside our bulkheads makes my heart sink. No, we have to drag him out. Then we either put him on a chain, or forgive my bluntness, Lord Captain, swat him down and forget he ever existed. Who are the victims? Anyone he could get his hands on, your lordship. Officers, serfs, technomet, even attacked a servitor. Although that didn't last long, he just tore its head off. Rest of them, though, scum tortured the life out of them. See the color draining from their face. And can you see that demon? Mr. looks behind him, glances at the deck, then turns to you with a long description. See who, your lordship? Whom are you referring to, Lord Captain? Don't worry about it. We'll unblock it right quick, your lordship. If only there was a way to flush that fiend out without going in. God's mercy, completely forgot. The late technomat, he turned on some security systems right before he bled out. Figured if Xenos thinks about showing his face, those systems will get him. Point is, you should go with your lordship. With your permission, it just wouldn't be right with the Lord Captain to go in there alone. God Emperor, help us all. Officer tries his best to speak calmly, but his voice is quivering. But going inside the compartment that has become a death trap fills him with dread, bordering on panic. Alright, we'll go
In this
check that out.
tapestry of a world,
Eventually.
I am the rogue thread.
I just wanted to check out this little lip here. Alright. Hello, Demonette. Are you gonna attack me? Who is this? This is the ruler, the vessel, and the master of the lost child. Come closer, let me get a good look at you. Pardon. Oh, see you. Oh, you're back. You hear the beating of his heart, the roaring blood in his veins, the pulsating fear in his black soul. Okay. Hey, look, a body.
None are better at searching.
25 Medicaid. That is very nice. That can make anyone decent. I have no idea if this actually applies. Well, new solders. Why is this not here then? Where are those gloves? Right here? I guess oldest to newest would be easier. No. Sort from newest to oldest again. I see, it's not automatic, it only sorts it when you first get it. You know, these gloves might be good on yearly ads, since I assumed the crit damage would buff. I have no idea if that crit damage buffs any crit damage or just gun crit damage. I should look that up. I've been half operating under the assumption, I forgot about it, but I gave it to him under the assumption that it would buff all crit damage. But his damage isn't all that good. Let me look this up. Marksman bracers. It's a very specific question. I wouldn't be surprised if no one specifically knows. Not seeing anyone talk about it. I'm going to assume it's only for gun stuff. But here, you have... What's your Medicaid already? It's not terrible, but now it's actually good. Yearly ads. What are your gloves? Yeah, you should... Yeah, there we go. Because you crit a decent amount. You should have had that a while ago. Let me quick save. What does this check need? Demolition. Alright.
Yes.
Will everyone get close?
They will see. Oh, yes, indeed. They all will see.
When the time comes for me to step into this world, he will be waiting for me. You're a demon that I've killed like 10 of you already.
What is that? Thank Russ for my sharp senses. A space wolf never fails in their duty. Was that supposed to be a challenge? Centuries
Easy.
of service and practice.
Anything over here? No? Okay. Everyone here?
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
Open door.
I
Everyone
sense
inside?
something nearby.
Someone turn that off.
A space wolf never fails in their duty.
Come because the prince wills it. Souls of all his progenitors belong to him alone. None will escape his embrace. Okay.
Keep a sharp eye.
Ah.
Was that supposed to be a challenge?
Not really. Alright, how much longer is this gonna go on for? Not very. Marazai jerks his head up when you appear. His already gaunt face is tightly wrapped in pale gray, parchment-like skin. His teeth are bared feverishly. Its dark eyes have turned into two pitch-black mirrors that could show your reflection clearly if you were to gaze into them. He opens his mouth, but instead of words, an unnatural rasping hiss comes out. This creature possesses intelligence, there's no sign of it left. Artisan of Pain. Okay. At last, so the resonant voice that followed you in your journey through the deck sounds like it is coming from every direction, chilling you to the bone. As we meet my poor child, look at him, mortal. Look how he yearns to return to those who caress his kind and his kind. Look how he yearns to return to the one who caress. Why is this such a hard sentence for me to say? Look at how he yearns to return to the one whose caress his kind rejects so suddenly. Come, child, follow my voice. My prince will grant you all the bliss and torment in the universe. You would exclaim something in the Eldari language. The elucidator fails to process her rapid and elaborate speech without waiting for Marazai's response returns to you. When Artkin has lost himself in the fight against the pull of Sheathers, all me on talk, however great our differences are, however dissolute and depraved the dark ways might be, I cannot blind my eyes and let Sternthrush take them. Sooner or later, all of his kind will step into my embrace. The prince is silent. The prince knows that every Eldari soul is already his. Humanist's voice forces itself inside your mind. But if you let me get close to the lost child, if you lure him into letting his guard down, my prince will reward you, Sigmund. The soul of this pathetic Xenos is a small price to pay for the blessing that will come from my master's favor. No. Shikari stares at you without blinking. His teeth still bared, his frenzied expression frozen like a mask. You hear hissing again, this time lower and angrier than before. Units has received a sign from the Omnissiah. Once at the middle platform beneath Marazai's feet. Transfer plate upon which the Xenos has so short-sightedly made his lair can be reconfigured to send a short discharge of the motive force. Idiot could impart a modicum of reason to this crazed creature. God damn it. Marazai half crouched, is teetering slightly. That is the only movement you can see. His body language shows that he is ready to attack. Use the bloodstained blaze he was holding. I gotta pick heretical. I decided that a while ago. Okay. All that for +5. Your eyes can barely register the speed at which Marazai moves. He dashes forward, skewers the screaming enforcer with his blade, and sinks his clawed fingers of his other hand into the victim's face. The scream comes a howl, then a rattle, then the Drakari throws the mangled corpse away and steps back. Penetrable, reflective veil over his eyes breaks. You can almost make out his pupils. Another one, too. It's not heretical, so no. He's head back and forth surveying the room, still watching. His muscles are no longer cramped stiff in a battle stance, but his face still bears a twisted expression that can either be interpreted as wild frenzy or terror. Urieliet, I trust you. Urieliet starts talking too quickly for the elucidator, but not for Marazai. Turns his head and watches her, like a snake watches a bird. Urieliet takes a step, then another. Your new inflections in her voice, melodious, almost calming. Hands are moving in an elaborate dance of gestures as she keeps touching the spirit stone of her chest. Very slowly, Urieliet advances toward Marazai and his bristling blades. He remains still, seemingly entranced by her words. You carefully follow her. He's standing tall and looking at you with the faint traces of intelligence in his eyes, which are still hazy. It's like one last push is required for him to emerge from his death-sowing trance. I'm gonna do this. I don't know if it's good. Your eye blinks and his eyes ignite with a familiar look of Tyrion and bright. I will rip out your tongue and make you swallow it piece by piece along with your own teeth. I'm not gonna pick the radical this time. The air behind Myra's eye ripples, and you watch as the Daemonette's faintly visible silhouette bleeds out of thin air. Orpal's mouth is sneering triumphantly, and the large pincer is rising higher and higher. I'm not gonna let... My need to have every party member will triumph over my need to pick the evil option every time. Myra's eye behind you. Daemonette brings her pincer down on Myra's head and clings against his raised blade. Myra's eye crouches and shows a shrieking warp entity away from himself. No, you're mine, Myra's eye, you're mine. Oh no, Daemonettes.
Oh, glorious!
This would have been scary.
Of your demise.
A while ago.
You will enjoy this.
Alright, there's no easy place to be in. You're yellow. It's a bit worrying. Put the front line over there. Put the rear over here.
Approved.
I guess we'll put the back line back here.
Fruitful prognosis is favorable. Running binary override.
How much damage can you do for me, Pascal?
Request approved.
My soul sings in ecstasy.
Okay, I'm a little disappointed in you, but we can do it.
My vow is to serve.
Juliet.
I understand your
Perfect.
intent.
Now, show me this one's
I
weakness.
am not your Xenos pet monkey.
Shoot.
If it serves your cause, fortune favors the swift.
Really? Thank you. Now, shoot this one.
I hear you moving, no more.
Summon another one? How dare you? I guess that makes sense.
Embrace it.
Oh, that's... I don't like that. Abelard, I need you. Move over here.
Indeed.
This will probably kill.
I took care of this one.
Brink of agony.
You can't move anymore. So I guess I'll just endure.
Victory is imminent.
And then... that's it. I don't care about you. Let's charge to you.
See how the wolf succeeds.
I didn't mean to. I wanted to go here. Is it like a random spot? Whatever. Do one of these.
I am unsatisfied.
I don't care. Kick.
Brink of agony.
None can do this better than a warrior of the All-Father.
Why do we refuse to kill these guys?
Meant only to be broken.
Alright, Cass, I'm going to move you over here. Voice command 6.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
And does that buff heat condition? I have no idea. It probably does. Gonna get all of you? No, I don't think so. Are you the... yeah, you're the scary one. But I want to kill you, so... you don't want to get Mars Eye. Have to, though. Just do it.
Me? If you insist, Captain.
Brace yourself.
That did more damage
Abelard.
than I hoped. Give Sig a
I'll
turn.
paint your death in colors.
Use Daring. Use Sworn Enemy. And then
Step
Walk
by
out.
step, I lead.
stab.
Another one is shattered.
Then charge over to this one, but first, because I've seen how this can go, just
Schemes within schemes.
do that free damage. Then charge again.
Let's see.
Do a big stab. And then another big stab.
What is a new note in discordant melody?
And then a small
A
stab.
wicked thought.
I will carve runes out of your bones.
Use Endure.
Schemes within schemes.
Daring Breach.
Maelstrom of madness.
Go over to this lad.
A
Stab.
genius.
A predictable
Oh, nice.
downfall.
Marzai turns to you, looking same as ever, with the exception that you see grayish-blue veins in through his parchment-like skin and something resembling tear in his eyes. They're gone, Sigmund? Gone, but still lurking in the threshold. Keeping watch, I can hear their whispers. How did Monkey bear them for days and days on end? Genuine confusion on his voice. You hear these whispers every time the Void Vessel travels beyond the Veil. Learn to accept this, find an anchor for such times, or lose yourself. Marzai looks at Uriel. There's a barely noticeable shift in expression. The entire time that you have been here. Yes, Dark One, this entire time. With each new passage, I bolstered my spirit further, and my meditation became a stronger barrier against the tendrils of she who thirsts. I endured it, so will you if you value your soul. Drakari lowers his head in thought, then he gives a Uriel a sidelong glance. Should have understood from what you told me. Well, no matter. You okay? I forgot myself for a moment. Nothing more. Your presence is causing me a great deal of grief. Rezo's voice turns to a furious hissing. Kind step beyond the veil with nothing but your crude technologies and prayers to a deaf god, and you expect those such as I to rely on such paltry protection from terrors of she who thirsts? Only the enforcers lets the emotions get better of him. For heaven's sake, Lord Captain, why are you even listening to him? That their Xenos is worse than a wild beast. How can a ship that sails in the God Emperor's light allow one of his enemies to act like he's master here? Marzai looks at the man hungrily, living... What is that? Living meat that what's that? Living meat that serves you talks too much. They would, however, make for perfect playthings. Look straight at you. And he's strength in order to suffer through your oafish voyages down the veil. If I don't attain a source of such sustenance, so I shall only keep testing my limits. But Captain, the officer has a point. If things continue on like this, we might end up with a mutiny on our hands, a massacre during every warp jump. We didn't have enough troubles to deal with on days like this. Whenever we're doing warp jumps, you're just gonna be tied down or something. Marzai freezes, meet his enraged gaze, filled with the promise of torture and agony. Then you almost see something inside him give, forcing him to incline his head slightly. Let it be as you say, Sigmund. Well, that's something, at least. Many thanks, your lordship. And these guys didn't drop anything because they were demons. Allies in the part instantly reload all their weapons after each attack made by them. For free? Or just... Okay. Let me loot you. Anything else? I think that's everything. So, where is an exit?
What lies beyond?
This way? No. Exit's probably all the way back to the start, right? Yep. Well, that was fun, I suppose. Okay, so are we at Dargonis now? That's what I came here for. We are. Okay. I would also appreciate if they have more drugs ready for me. Do you have more drugs ready for me? This place doesn't make drugs. Who makes the drugs? Oh, they do. How do I collect? Do I just obtain it every now and then? Do I have drugs? I don't think so. I have A drugs. Whatever. Does it actually tell me, though? Periodically. Can be replenished in batches of 5. Do not forget to collect them. Well, how fast is periodically? And where do I collect them, if I can? Whatever. Take me to the palace. That's a good team, right? Yeah, I don't want anyone else, really. We're here for Abelard, so he gets to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand aside. No need to crowd around. Governor Driftston will take care of everything. Apparently not, if I'm supposed to be here. This is ridiculous. Such a thing happening right in the Rogue Trader's palace. Hello. I'm here to fix all the problems. Confronted by the sight of dead bodies at the entrance to the palace, corpses have been hauled into a pile of 2. Some are dressed in the uniforms of palace wardens, while they are arrayed in the clothing typical of Dargona's nobility. On seeing you, young enforcer stands at attention and swallows noisily. Swiss trembles and says, "Your Lordship, we are honored by your presence." What's going on? See, your lordship. These people wanted to attack Second Lieutenant of the Palace Guard, Ellen White, reporting. Shortly before you arrived, we averted an assassination attempt on the Rogue Trader. Palace soldiers detected intruders and engaged them in combat. Observation: there are high-functioning servitor specimens present among the expired units. Such specimens are traditionally bestowed upon the noble houses that are most loyal to the sacred fellowship of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Cosmetics of the deceased do differ from the implants ordinary people wear. Brought my phone. Intricate construction makes it clear that the deceased were not ordinary humans. As far as I know, House Gaprek received such servitors from the Crimson Priesthood as gifts in the past. Although, this is my first time seeing one myself. Why is the governor not here to greet me? Do not know, your lordship. Perhaps he is... Garth throws a fearful gaze at Abelard. You could probably find him in the throne room, where the governor intends to put House Warsirian on trial. And where is the Chancellor Warsirian herself? I think she is with the rest of House Warsirian. Detained in the throne room, that is. Governor Driston has gathered all of Dargonus' nobility there to pronounce a guilty verdict against House Warsirian. I must take my leave.
A trivial task.
Let's see. Crumpled up a letter inside the pocket. Bodies bear multiple wounds. It's evident they died recently. Is there anything else here? I don't think so. Quick save.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
You are
kind
more
of...
akin to a wild beast than a member of your species.
Be silent. If you continue your vile and insolent speech, you may truly set eyes on a beast.
Fun. Do you have anything to say? No. No one has anything particular to say, it looks like. Let me through. I have an appointment with Chancellor Clementia Wasirian. My apologies, my lord, but you cannot go any further. Driftstorm's orders. It's ridiculous. I shall complain. Move over. Let his lordship the rogue trader through. Humbly beg your pardon, your lordship. Lordship, please, this way. Your lordship, 'tis an honor. Governor Urban Driftstem seems to materialize out of thin air, so suddenly does he emerge from the crowd. I regret that such unfortunate circumstances have occasioned the rogue trader's visit to the capital. Clementia tries to take a step towards you, but the warden nearby stops her. Faces veiled with fear and weariness. Your lordship, you are here. Please, you must hear us out. The trader is undoubtedly here to listen to the testimony of each and every one of us, and to punish the traitors. The governor's words, directed at Clementia, are harsh. They are echoed by the scornful sneers and echoes of the assembled nobles. We've known each other for many decades now, and have had our fair share of disagreements, but do you really think my flesh and blood trample upon the very definition of honor and loyalty? Abelard's voice is quivering with rage. The governor sweeps his gaze over Abelard, then replies, a faint shadow of doubt in his voice. We have evidence implicating them, Abelard. I am sure his lordship will arrive at a fair ruling. It'd be funny if I was like, no, I don't want to hear it. They're from... No, I'll hear them out. I'll probably just let them go regardless. What are the charges? Disruption of logistical lines, bribery of Adeptus administrative officials, document forgery, organization of heretical insurrections, on top of the evidently devastating economic impact this has had on your protectorate. These criminal acts have impeded the delivery of the imperial tithe, which in turn has drawn the administrative's attention. Needless to say, the esteemed Adeptus Arbites cannot ignore the situation either. Before the representatives arrive at the palace, we are obliged to identify and punish those responsible. I'll hear your side of the story, Clementia. Lordship, House Wasirian denies all charges laid against it. Glances at the governor with defiance. These last few months have indeed been trying for Dargonis, but we have done our best to remedy the situation. At least every effort was focused on stabilizing the capital's logistics and economy, so much so that we failed to notice the web of intrigue unfolding behind our backs. What's going on since I was gone? When we caught wind of the rumors of your disappearance, we patiently awaited news of your return. Then Dargonis was struck by a series of terrible events. First was the sabotage of logistics that hampered in shipments. Mass unrest spread across the entire planet. Minor noble houses began squabbling among themselves, trying to pin the blame on their rivals. It took great pains to calm them down. We managed to quash the revolts, but not without some outside help, unfortunately. These events have also been overshadowed by the, I shouldn't even say it out loud in front of you, Lordship, rumors circulating among the higher houses. Some are calling for Theodore's true heir to be installed at this as head of your house, Coonrag Voigtavir. Not all of your subjects have forgotten his past efforts for the benefit of the trade protectorate. Driftstem stopped talking, watching you with a tense expression. When the investigation was launched, evidence led us to the Wasirians. I see what's going on. Why were there dead bodies at the entrance to my palace? Your lordship, I humbly beg your pardon. Driftstem bows once again, trying to placate you. You see, right before your arrival, the palace guard discovered a plot to assassinate you. Fortunately, the malefactors were disposed of before they could cause you any harm. And these accusations you're giving surely have fantastic evidence, right? Of course I have evidence, your lordship. The investigation has established that members of the Syrian family, which is responsible for both Dargonis' fleet and logistics, used their contacts, and evidence to forge a host of documents in order to undermine the planet's supply routes and economy, thus forming unrest among the inhabitants. Allow me to introduce my son, Cornelius. Governor points to the lanky young man standing beside him. Bows curtly, but avoids meeting your eye. Cornelius holds a prestigious position at the Administrative Palace, and it is thanks to him that we managed to identify and trace the entire chain of forged documents. The investigation led us to the perpetrators, who admitted to acting on orders of members of House Osirian. It was they who were intent on spreading the idea of restoring the title of Rogue Trader to the true heir. Some man shrouded in a mist of gray and blue, sickly shadows and fear fluttering around him. Cassie speaks so quietly that only you can hear. Does everyone else agree with this? First Crescent attendants exchange glances, noble lords averting their gazes, and noble ladies hiding behind the fans. No one's willing to be the first to answer. Over his many years of service, Governor Jersum earned Theodore's trust. He holds his high office for a reason. On behalf of House Sauerbach, I support his accusations. My apologies, Lordship, but I wish to speak too. Gina looks into your eyes with a tender half-smile, then turns her gaze on her husband. Of course, I agree with my husband. Governor Jersum would not press charges against anyone. He was not absolutely certain of the authenticity of the evidence he had unearthed. I think anyone here would agree that anyone who ever doubts the authority of the true Rogue Trader should be prosecuted. I'm sure, your lordship, that you will eradicate the scourge of heresy from your domain. Regina bows to you deferentially, maintaining eye contact with you. Your lordship, Governor Jersum has always faithfully served the Rogue Traders of House Von Valentius and concerned himself with the future of your trade dynasty. And so, House Gaprek thinks his charges against House Osirian are to be sound. Logman tied Toriana's emotion, but her voice sounds slightly timorous. I don't know what that is. Timorous? I humbly ask you to allow me to speak in my defense of my family's honor. Evidence provided by the governor is utterly false, cannot refute it, but I can say with confidence that no one from my family has ever tried to forge documents in the Adeptus Administratum, let alone undermine the economy of your capital. Your lordship, allow me to speak as well. I am grateful for the privilege of serving under you. Evidence against House Osirian is quite solid, but I doubt their culpability. Should you decide to personally resolve this case, then I humbly ask you to speak to me. Perhaps I can be of use to you. I have not seen any actual evidence. I'm going to investigate myself. As you wish, your lordship. Governor inclines his head in stiff bow. Speak to me when you're ready to announce your verdict. Thank you for your willingness to help, Lord Captain. I'm certain that all charges are false, and I would be grateful for your help in exposing them as such. Thank you to speak to everyone present, noble lords and ladies. Fantastic advice, Abelard. I will do just that. Let's speak to everyone with a name, minus Jersum, because he's the last guy I want to talk to. You guys. Lords and ladies sumptuously dressed in the colors of House Gaprek, standing in a half circle around Toriana and her son Vincent. Bodies and faces of almost every member of this dynasty covered in large, ornate augmetics. Toriana Gaprek curtsies to you. Her mechanical voice sounds distant and indifferent. Greetings, your lordship. May the Omnissiah grant you understanding. Click, her visor oculars swivel to the seneschal. Abelard, it must be difficult for you to be here under these circumstances, with your house standing accused of such a grave crime. My family, Lady Toriana, is yet to be found guilty of anything. That verdict is for the Rogue Trader to reach. Your lordship, Dyson stammers awkwardly and briefly looks to his family. I'd like to talk to you about something in private, if you please. Kindly hear me out. Do you think these accusations are true? Would not take such a responsibility upon myself and rule upon their guilt, your lordship. But I do think Governor Driston's accusations are worthy of consideration, however. And if they aren't true, who do you think is the issue? Pardon my bluntness, your lordship, but I will answer truthfully. Could be anyone. Greed, fear, and ideals can drive even the most loyal subjects to do the unthinkable. I have examined the bodies of the assailants that were killed today. All of them were high-functioning servitors. Those were... Only you guys could have those, right? It's impossible to read Toriana's emotions. In her heavily augmented face, where her sudden turn toward her family betrays her confusion and surprise. Perplexed whispers bounce from one family member to another. Impossible. We came here by ourselves without any servitors. We know nothing about it. Your lordship, thank you for informing us of this. You're absolutely right. My house has indeed been endowed with high-functioning servitors. Listen for those who revere the Messiah. Today, none of our house members were accompanied by them. I found this note on one of the attackers. Turning his mechanical fingers, script the paper. Officially, high-functioning servitors are employed by my house and my house alone. Such units were to attack the rogue trader, suspicion would instantly fall upon the Gaprax. I assume this is what the Wasurians intended to happen, but they did not expect the servitors would have this letter on them. Vicent, you wanted to talk? Yes, your lordship, let us talk in private. Grateful for the opportunity to serve you on board the ship and would like to repay you for such a largesse. I'm gonna look up how to say this word. It's not just a one-off. This is the second time it's made itself known. Let's see. Largesse. Pronunciation.
Largesse.
Largesse. I was right, eventually. Alright. I would like to repay you for such a largesse. Vicent looks back at his family before continuing. You see, I harbor special tender feelings toward Astardia Wasurian. I think I know something that can help escape her death. I can help her escape death. The revealing it may jeopardize my own family. Today, I notice when my family used to be in an odd, uncharacteristic mood. Hallen, Gaprak is my paternal second cousin, once removed. May the Emperor save his soul. Usually reserved and self-possessed, today he was frantic and anxious, fidgeting with a small piece of paper and seemingly looking for someone to no avail. When I last saw him, he was headed to the entrance hall where the altars are. Perhaps you should talk to him. What made you decide to tell me about this? Could not bear to live knowing that I failed to disclose information that could have saved the innocent. And you realize what'll happen if you're found guilty. Vicent stopped for some time, then replies with a sigh. Yes, perhaps there is still a glimmer of hope left in me, but Halen is not involved in any way and will be able to point to the perpetrator behind all this. But the truth is, my actions right now come from my heart, not my head. Alright, thanks. Halen. Your lordship? Alright, that's all I want from you guys. For now. Should I pursue Halen now? Let's do that now. I believe they said over here, right? Unless... Okay, let's check over here.
No peace in my wake.
What did he say? When I saw him, he was headed to the entrance hall where the altars are. entrance hall. Here? Or maybe down here. Let's go over there through this route. It doesn't... I thought it went over there. Over here, then. Aelin? Oh, there you are. I knew it. I talked to you before. Finally, just man of middle years is kneeling in front of the altar. His palms folded in prayer, close to his face. Implant-free parts of his skin are sickly blue color. Nobleman does not react to your presence. He does not lift his head. He does not blink. He does not even breathe. Only when you draw closer do you realize that he is dead. Colors of House Gaprek. Do not believe he decided to take his own life in such an extravagant way. As far as I know, there's a warden post here. But I do not see any wardens. Seneschal looks around. There's no one to ask about what happened here, or with whom the man spoke with before he died. I'd like to ask Urban where the palace guard suddenly disappeared to. "105 awareness, and it's a coin flip. That's crazy. There are no visible wounds on the body, but near the edge of the gold-trimmed collar, you notice a tiny puncture in his blue skin, likely a wound caused by a thin needle. Death came from him suddenly and ravaged his body with cramping spasms that prevented him from falling to the ground. Some of the poisons have such side effects. Affected victims suffocate slowly without being able to move or call for help. Did he have anything on him? Discover a secret pocket in the lining of the dead man's luxurious jacket. Find a folded piece of paper inside, hiding the handkerchief embroidered with the initials HG. House Gaprek. Make sure the rogue trader is attacked by someone loyal. It would appear as if it was all staged to let the Syrian family escape. This is the last assignment. Soon your debt will be paid off in full. Almost certain that the wardens are unusually stationed. You're almost certain that the wardens are usually stationed nearby, but their post is empty. Where have they gone? This would be an excellent question to put to Governor Drifstone. Interesting. Well, that implicates them pretty well. So far, Gaprek is an accomplice. What do Sarbaks have to say? Before bowing, Sarbak scrutinizes you with a bitter, judgmental look. Your Lordship. Hector Sarbak, looking like a younger copy of his father, stands at a slight distance, close to his mother. Expensive yet understated dress serves to highlight the dazzling beauty of Macarius' wife, Regina Sarbak. Sarbak stares at Juliet with revulsion and flickers across his face. Really? I guess that makes sense. 40 is pretty low. Your Lordship, I'm delighted that you have chosen to grace us with your attention. Regina drops to a curtsy, while looking intently into your eyes. I can read, I promise. Coin flip time. I've been pretty lucky so far. Decidedly mutual. Do you really believe the Wasirians are guilty? Certainly, Sarbak replies without hesitation. Your Drifstone possesses proof of their guilt, and they have no means by which to refute it. Even if I were to entertain the idea that the Wasirians are being framed, how much longer would their house have lasted anyway, if it's so ill-prepared for treachery? Addresses Abelard with a slightly mocking tone. My advice to House Wasirian will not be to appeal to the rogue trader for help, but to instead to simply stop, accept their fate, and not make matters worse for themselves. Can I remember Sigmund von Valencia seeking your advice on what House Wasirian would do in this situation? Pay attention, Macarius. Focus on the rogue trader's questions. So let's pretend the Wasirians aren't guilty. Who would be? Driftstem, wishing to expand their clout. I thought clout was a slang word. Why would... That feels a bit out of place. I mean, maybe it's slang based on an actual, like, more professional use. Whatever. House Skaprek, who lost their influence after the Kiava Gamma incident. So back to his family and turns to you again. House Sarbak, whose patriarch is too direct in his communication with the Road Trader. Anyone could have reason to conspire against you. Equally, they could have none. If it is not a question of motive, but of loyalty, each of your subjects has sworn an oath of loyalty to you. So whose sincerity do you doubt? Nice to meet you, Lady Sarbak. Noticing your gesture, Regina readily extends her delicate hand. Nails long and manicured. Why, how kind of you to say, your lordship. Burning eyes fixed on you, Sarbak straightens and leans forward, trying to partially occupy the space between you and his wife. Set against the doom and gloom of current events in your husband's dour family, you look especially dazzling today, Regina. Flirtatious spark flares in the beautiful lady's eyes. Really, your lordship? I'm glad to hear this from the Road Trader, especially today. Macarius almost barks, each word striking like a hammer against metal. Regina, step away from his lordship. Regina's high voice almost breaks into a shriek, interrupts her husband, squirting defiantly and disobediently. Oh, Thorn preserve you, Macarius. Stop being so jealous and making a scene over nothing. Just because a crude blockhead like you lacks the refinement and courtesy of Sigmund. Regina's voice drops to a whisper so that only you can hear. Spout poisons the air around him wherever he goes. Once he gets something into his head, he tears off to remove the heads of others just to prove that he's in the right. Do you think the Gapricks could be behind this? I mean, I know they mostly are. Sarbak looks away briefly and replies to you with a curt laugh. I've always thought Toriana too weak to participate in such risky ventures, but it seems I was wrong about her. I discovered a body in my in my palace. Are you HG maybe? Macarius looks at the note without taking it from your hands and replies without hesitation. No, I know nothing about this note. Alright, that's all I want. I wonder, could I speak to Vicent about this? Greetings, your lordship, maybe I'm inside, yada. Same as before. I'll speak to Vicent first. What do you make of the charges against the Wisterian family? Could they truly be guilty? I didn't realize these were two different options. Do not think I can doubt the validity of your accusations, but... Vicent's voice trails off and he seems to retreat into himself for a moment. Before continuing. I'm also not sure that House Wisterian had reason to betray you. Your lordship, I do not know any instance where their loyalty to you and the Emperor was anything less than unwavering. I know you care for Astardia. Are you prepared to watch her die? Vicent's jaw augmetics screeches slightly, and the man scrutinizes his mother and other family members for a few moments. There's something you ought to know, your lordship. Today, I noticed what my family members to be... I understand. Okay, so I can't talk to him. But I discovered one of your guys were dead. Toriana covers her open mouth with her hand in surprise, and turning to her family, looks for someone among them. Halen, it can't be. You know Halen? Well, obviously he was a family member. Halen is one of the lower-ranking members of House Skaprek. Despite his advanced age, he never held high office, but he was forever striving to better his position, even beyond his abilities. Many members of my house struggle to cope with the misfortune that befell Kiavagama and our family. Some members will not reconcile themselves with our new position. Halen was one of them. What do you think happened to him? Tyrion's visor oculars are fixed on the floor, fingers restlessly clenching the fabric of her dress. Tyrion, the time to keep silence is long gone. The future of House von Valentius? The future of the House von Valentius trade dynasty and your house are both at stake now. Thus, Kiava Gamma, truly devastating blow to every member of House Gaprak. Lost all hope for the future, and McKinn lost their sense of purpose. We need time to recover and chart a new course for ourselves. We were, and still are, more than capable of doing that. But I will not deny it. Other houses have offered us their assistance for their own self-serving ends. Perhaps Halen decided to take them up on one of their offers behind my back. Have I found the culprit? Seneschal bows ever so slightly and speaks so quietly that only you can hear. The captain, the Gaprax, all, or perhaps only some of them, are definitely involved, but I suspect that they're not behind the plot against you. Halen Gaprak could be nothing more than a puppet in the hands of a deft puppet master. Let's expose whoever that is if we are to prevent the pestilence of heresy from spreading any further. What do you suggest we do? Interrogate the heads of Dristum and Sarbak houses. One of them has been pulling the strings here. Once we uncover new evidence, announce the guilty party will be publicly executed. Before you pronounce the verdict, I suggest focusing on each house in your indictment speech. I shall observe them. I have known those people far longer than you have. I know all their gestures, habits, and behavior quirks. I'm sure that I'll be able to determine which of them was responsible for the riots based on their behavior. Okay, I'll do that. Do I talk to you guys again, then? No. That means you guys. Or you guys first.
They will see. Oh yes, they all will see.
He struck closer. Warden stepped aside, bowing respectfully, allowing you to approach the Lysterian family. Clementia, tired of and slightly disheveled, was the first to bow her head to you in deference. Several men and women behind her followed suit. Your lordship, and stammers as if lost for words. I must humble apologies for failing to greet you properly. And my thanks for agreeing to speak to me before making your final decision. Charges brought by the governor are severe, but I can only assure you of this and swear upon my own honor. We are not guilty of the crimes the House of Syrian is being accused of. Clementia. Sorrow creeps into Abelai's voice, belying a stern facade. You are acting head of this family. You're supposed to take care of each and every family member, and now you're accused of treason and collusion against our traitor. And our family's facing death. How could you let this happen? Are you truly guilty? I know you're not, but I just want to hear you say it. Clementia, if you know that a member of your family is guilty of the crimes you're being accused of. Abelard, it is your family too, you know? His words burn with defiance. My apologies. I should not lose my composure. A member of the House of Syrian is involved in a conspiracy against his lordship. Honor and loyalty are not something we take lightly, and we know whom we serve. What do you say about the forged documents? The fleet is the primary remit of House of Syrian. It is our responsibility. Logistics and supply routes are another area of our responsibility. We have no direct influence on the inner workings of the Adeptus Administratum. First, large-scale deliveries were cancelled, for quantities of food were miscalculated by clerks of the Administratum. Then we were faced with incorrect weather data and a meager fuel budget. It was clear that the cause of all these problems is calculations performed in the Administratum, one way or another. But no matter how many times we asked, could not ever obtain any clarification on the matter. I found this letter. What do you think about it? She reads the letter. Syrian's behind her. Read it over her shoulder. Lordship, let us be frank. It'd be foolish of me to try to orchestrate something like this. Knowing how many wardens are patrolling your place, the palace, I would not have let myself or anyone in my family get involved in such a scheme. The attackers are high-functioning servitors. Do you think Gaprax did anything? Servitors? Is that so? She clutches her arms and furrows her brow deep in thought. Encountered servitors that were indistinguishable from normal augmented humans, but only once. They were committing several members of House Gaprak. If you're not guilty, then who do you think is? Anyone, really, Clemente replies with a bitter laugh. Other houses consider us unworthy of our position, and many would jump at the chance to get rid of us and gain control over what was once our domain. Planet's fleet and logistics, at the very least. Lady Theodora chose to grant noble status to Surian, but the other houses, which have served the Expanse for millennia, did not welcome the decision. It has led to some difficulties. If I were to start my investigation, where would you suggest? I'm afraid it cannot be of much help. Talk to the representatives of other houses, eavesdrop on the retinue. Perhaps you'll hear something unusual. Halen is dead, and he had this note. I thought I already talked to you about this, but younger members of the Surian family crowd around to examine the note in Clementia's hands. All present are beset with worry and bewilderment. I'm not sure if this is relevant, but perhaps you should know. Since the fall of Kiyama, House Gaprak has been faring poorly, to say the least. They've been looking for ways to enhance their influence and improve their lots, including asking for help from other noble houses. They've not approached us, of course. It's shameful to seek help from those you consider your inferiors, you understand. But perhaps the Drift Sims or the Sarbaks can tell you more about this matter. Alright, that's all I want. This means... what's that you have? Does that debuff you at all? It debuffs your willpower, I see. I mean, that's not a big issue. It's not like you care about your willpower much anyway. I wonder. Do your gloves matter? Plus 10 to tech use. Would he rather have the 10 tech use? Or the 25 Medicaid? This will be decided by, if any gloves are better. It's kind of a weird time to decide this, but I just thought about this with the Medicaid check before. We'll give you these. Would you want any of these? There. You take this. Now your Medicaid is pretty good. Your tech use is already insane, so I guess it's better to have that. Okay. Quick save. Any change needs a quick save. And then the drift sims are over this way, yeah? Yeah. What do you have to say about yourself? I clicked the wrong guy. I clicked the wrong guy. Who are the right guys? You guys. Click you. Drift sims surrounded by his retinue, who are all dressed in expensive gowns and finery. Matching color scheme of their outfits and a striking physical resemblance among them suggests that they all come from one family. Your Lordship, thank you for giving this case your undivided attention. I want to hear you recant what you said. As soon as the logistical and economic problems gave rise to the initial rumors, we tried to find the person responsible for spreading the calls for Wojtywier's return. Investigation showed that some of the documents inside the Adeptus Administratum were forgeries. I can thank my son, Cornelius, for such astute observations. Your Lordship, this young man bows to you awkwardly and nervously licks his dry lips. I assure you that my humble person is undeserving of your attention. Cornelius holds a prestigious position at my administratum, the palace, and it was he who discovered the errors leading to the disrupted logistics. It is also thanks to him that we found the perpetuators of the forgeries, who admitted to acting on hoarders of House Osirian. Admitted to it, huh? I found this letter. What do you think about it? Looks like another piece of evidence incriminating House Osirian. Perhaps they truly did intend to kill you, or at least cause a stir to help them escape custody during the confusion that was followed. Well, that's suspicious on your part, because it said it was specifically meant to implicate them. The note said, we want to make it look like House Osirian did it. Which means they didn't do it. And you're saying it looks like they did do it? You're suspect number one. You already were, but now you truly are. There's evidence to believe high-functioning servitors, you get it. High-functioning servitors? Such servitors are indeed rare. The Gap Crooks do have them in the service. This could have been done intentionally with the eye to confuse you. Someone with the desire, sufficient funds, can hire them. I found a dead body of House Gaprak. Remember, House Gaprak was killed in the palace, and no one noticed, but how? There are wardens posted at every altar. There weren't wardens. Did you have anything to do with that? Warden, forbid, your lordship. Gutner helplessly throws his hands up in the air as if to signify his powerlessness. Your negligence is stunning, Urban. An assassination attempt followed by a mysterious death, and yet here you are, oblivious to everything. Your traitor can justly accuse you of allowing a noble to be killed in the palace and even failing to notice it. And of failing to even notice it. Maybe so, but it's for the rogue traitor to accuse me of negligence, not you. I'm going to see you once more. Your lordship, accept my deepest apologies for my imprudence. Nothing matters more to me than my honor. I shall send the service to deal with all this immediately. Did you see Gaprak today at all? Halen? Did not see him myself, but perhaps... Have any of you seen him today? Nobles talk quietly among themselves, and then a middle-aged woman with a tall, extravagant hairstyle replies to you. I think my sister saw him sitting on the bench some distance away from the palace entrance. I think he's accompanied by a gentleman, but forgive us, your lordship. Could not make out its face. Show me. Of course, consider it done. Taking your time, aren't you?
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
Well, Lord Gaprak conversing with someone here, your lordship. It was an honor to assist you.
Too hard for a simple monkey?
I recognize this spaghetti. How Sarbak usually serves this wine. Huh. Well, I'm not done talking to these guys, but I appreciate your help, unnamed person. Are you ready to pronounce your verdict yet? Not yet. Tell me more about your son. Thank you for your interest, your lordship, but I'm not worthy of it. Governor's son bows and stands still as he nervously stares down at the floor. Son, show due respect. Forgive him, your lordship. This is the first time he has had the honor of attracting the attention of the traitor. Tell me more about your job, Cornelius. Manage documents and records related to the economy of Dragonis. Probably know how scrupulous the workers of the Administratum are. Afraid that this more detailed explanation of my duties would mirror the administrative processes of the Administratum. Too long and overly detailed. And how... You're the one that started all this. How did you find out the forged documents? When compiling the records on the last cycle's supply chain, I noticed inaccuracies and discrepancies in the figures. With the help of other clerks, I managed to find several other documents. Comprehensive data analysis has shown that the discrepancies were caused by intentional tampering with the data, thus leading to some logistical problems that were practically unsolvable. Father and I have managed to single out the administrative clerks responsible for tampering with the data. Following a heated interrogation, we confessed that they were following the orders of someone from House Osirian. Everything was supposed to look as though they were the ones suffering losses from the logistical and economic problems. They don't have that much power, though. Before replying, Demer's son nervously adjusts his expensive frock coat. I think the right amount of money can open any door. You're especially nervous, aren't you? Luminous pupils suddenly dilate. Stands at attention and replies to you with one breath. First time I've spoken to face with the rogue traitor. Afraid saying anything wrong or forgetting something important. The governor closely watches his son. His tone changes, sounding now strict and curt. Do you wish to tell the Lord Captain anything else? Surely, you wouldn't be hiding information from the best person ever. See the flash of terror in Cornea's eyes. He stares at your hand and your weapon. He speaks quietly and confusedly. Without raising his hand. Forgive me, your lordship. I can't do it anymore. This lie has gone on too far. I can no longer control it. The truth is, all the logistical problems were caused by a single error in the numbers. My mistake. What? Urban looks genuinely shocked and enraged. When I discovered my mistake, it was almost impossible to restore the supply lines. Then, when I was approached by someone who said they were a friend, not give me their name, and I never saw their face, they promised to fix the problem. All I had to do was pretend that the Syrians were responsible for the mistake. As for the rest of the evidence, they promised to arrange it all, and... Urban curls his hand into his fists, knuckles turning white. What have you done? How could you? Your lordship suddenly turns to you as if trying to shield the son. This is my fault. I trusted my son and have failed you in doing so. I beg you, have mercy. I put my family's honor into question, Urban. Nevertheless, I harbor no desire to kick a man when he's down. Lord Captain, the confession you have obtained means that House of Syrian can now be cleared of all charges. Can you tell me anything about this friend of yours? By letter, I received a letter out of the blue one day. It was unsigned, and the person writing it already knew about my erroneous calculations. Offered to help me cover up my misdeed, and in return, I would name the Assyrians as the ones who had sabotaged the supply lines. All I had to do was gather together some documents and reports that were listed in one of the letters. That, and keep my mouth shut. Well... no harm has come yet, and you did admit to your mistake, so I'll be nice and not murder you. Thank you, your lordship. Governor bows low, and gives his son a look full of bitterness and frustration. As for your position, I think you'll be reassigned to a role requiring less responsibility. Alright, I'll see if I can find more evidence. I already have an idea of who it is. But... let's give everyone another once-over, now that I've learned a bit more context. Hey, Toriana. Come on, new dialogue. No new dialogue. No new dialogue. So that's everyone. Should I go back? Like, I have no reason to, but this is the only other place that's been relevant. So I guess I can check it again? Well, that and the one chair. Over here, apparently. I'll check it out, and then I'll make my decision.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
I mean, honestly, it kind of looks like everyone minus the Assyrians are implicated. Alright, whatever. We'll click save in case I misclick, because this seems like important business. I've decided. Are you ready to pronounce your verdict yet? Yes, absolutely. Understood, your lordship. Allow me to prepare everything. Many faces are watching you, each and every one awaiting the rogue trader's verdict with bated breath. The charges brought by Governor Drivstum were fabricated. House Viserion had nothing to do with the orchestration of the riots or the plot targeting the road trader. However, the real perpetrators are here in this very room. Seneschal nods to you as if urging you to continue, then shifts his piercing gaze to the crowd before you. I have. Oh, okay. What's the hardest one? This doesn't say. Chance 100. Are they all the same check? They're probably all the same check. We'll see. Well, yeah, this is obvious, but... Your overt contempt toward me is reason enough. I know that House Sarbak offered their help to the Gaprex, and the late Halen Gaprex seem to have accepted the offer. I suspect you are responsible for his death as well. Yeah, that's what I was gonna pick. Sarbak froze his brow and slightly cocks his head, reversed his gaze for the first time as if trying to remember or make sense of something. You notice restless movements behind him. Abelard narrows... Oh, I get to do all of these, I see. Abelard narrows his eyes and scrutinizes Macarius Sarbak and his retinue behind him. His sharp eyes light up when he catches sight of something important hidden in the crowd. Seneschal looks behind you and nods as if to say, Puppeteer has given himself away. Pronounce the verdict. But I have so much more dialogue. If I continue listing off all these, will I mess up? I hope not. I would like to do all of these. I'm going to keep clicking these from like most important to least important, just in case I can't click every single one of these. Urban Driftston, you have exhibited inexcusable negligence by failing to question the possible involvement of any other family besides the Syrians. You discovered that the attempt on my life was orchestrated by a member of House Gaprek. Governor closes his eyes, fear and shame. Okay, so they are different checks, I see. Governor closes his eyes, fear and shame getting the better of him. Some faces in the crowd look confused and surprised, but you see more wearing expressions of self-satisfied contempt. Abelard, it's from Governor, do you? And somebody should say no, it's not sure some I see. So yeah, it is Sarbaks. Urban Driftstem, you have accused House Syrian of violations that were, in truth, the result of a grave error committed by your son. That was really hard. Governor closes his eyes, fear and shame getting the better of him. Some faces in the crowd look confused and surprised, but you see more wearing... that's the exact same dialogue. No, Driftstem's not pulling the strings here. Soriana Gaprek, member of your family orchestrated by an assassination attempt against me. Here, in my own palace. Though he's already been found dead, this act of treason is enough to forever brand your house as traitors. Mocking whispers creep through the crowd. Soriana is trembling faintly. Still will not raise her head, perhaps out of fear of meeting her fate face to face. Seneschal's hard gaze softens, and an elusive gesture, visible only to you, conveys the message. Soriana Gaprek is guilty only of her own poor judgment. Sarback, you hate me, and I don't like that. Sarback crowd remains silent, with only their tense, anxious gazes darting back and forth between them. That was also pretty hard. Sarback's brows to his higher units, his jaw working nervously. Abelard narrows his eyes and scrutinizes Macarius, Sarback, and his retinue standing behind him. For a moment, his sharp eyes seem to have caught sight of something, only to lose track of it the next moment. Disappointed sigh tells you, could be a Sarback, but is he really the one behind all this? He is. He already told me first. In the conspiracy against the Rook Trader, I find... Air in the room is frozen with tense, almost electrified silence. All the nobles, some with fear and others with reverent anticipation, await your verdicts. I find House Sarback, that's Seneschal, if you would. Abelard steps forward and stares intently at House Sarback's patriarch. Macarius, I must admit I have always admired your bluntness, but just as I once had to say goodbye to a promotion because of my dislike for intrigue, you and your family might soon say goodbye to your heads. Tell me, now in your blunt fashion, are you loyal to House von Valancius? Sarback narrows his eyes, grimacing. I am loyal, House Wasarian. I am loyal to Wasarian. There we go. Abelard studies Sarback and slowly nods. You're not lying. Someone else is. Someone who is poised to destroy both you and your family for your own gain. For her own gain. Macarius does not have time to respond. Regina, who is standing beside him, raises her arm as if to slap the elderly Seneschal. Abelard deftly catches her wrist, stopping her hand right in front of his face. Her dainty hand is adorned with a massive augmetic ring topped with a thin-like spike dripping with venom. Ooh. Nope. Abelard shifts his focus. Sarback shifts his confused gaze from his wife to Abelard, and back again. Stiff arrogance has vanished from his posture. Regina, you? Mother. Upon realizing what's happened, Hector recoils from his mother. Macarius, your bluntness makes you an open book. When I talked about helping the Gaprex, you had no idea what I was referring to. Your wife, on the other hand, her eyes started shifting like you could not believe. Regina, Sarback, you alone betrayed the Rogue Trader, jeopardizing the prosperity of House von Valancius trade dynasty. I can read. You alone are responsible for your unmasking. I thought there could have been something special. Why would you do this? Like the spike on her ring, Regina's words are dripping with poison and rage. This Dargonus is serving an impostor. The true heir of the Protector bears a different name. When Coonride appeared on Dargonus, he paid me a visit, opened my eyes to the truth of the situation. Theodore was killed by the one she had so unwarily taken under her wing. I can read. Macarius is too narrow-minded to even consider opposing the Rogue Trader, even an illegitimate one. So I had to wait for the right moment, and the disappearance of the Lord Captain could not have come at a better time. It was quite simple to trigger a train of events on Dargonus so that the people remembered Voigtvir's past service. It seems many of your subjects do not actually consider you a worthy successor. Okay, so that makes sense why you don't like me. But why are you beefing with the Wasarians? Because when stripped of the Seneschal's protection, this house is the weakest one in all of Dargonus, and they are so particularly disliked by the governors. They are also particularly disliked by the governor's family. It would have been easy to bury the Wasarians under accusations of heresy. I don't think you're smart enough to do this on your own. Oh, of course I didn't. I have too many helpers to list them all, but rest assured there are plenty of them. Just as there are plenty of people who follow Master Voigtvir. My death will not change anything. True Rogue Trader will come take his rightful place when the time is right. So what was her beef with Halen? Halen was a good agent, but he was also a coward. He came to me just before a formidable Rogue Trader arrived. He was ready to confess everything. Suggested that he plead for the Emperor's forgiveness first. And he did grant some mercy, did he not? Abelard, if you would. Abelard turns against you. Does the Rogue Trader condemn only the rotten apple? Or the entire barrel? Just the apple. Why it's melting every turn. That's pretty nice. In that case, Regina Starbeck shall be subjected to intense interrogation followed by execution. It's good that I passed every relevant check. It was actually, I think, Yurliet that did most of it. That's why they hate aliens. They have two good eyes. By order of the Rogue Trader, Regina Starbeck is sentenced to death for heresy and crimes against the Von Valancius trade dynasty. Surely you can be a bit more efficient with this, right? I'm sure it took more than... I'm sure you could take her down in less than, like, what was that, 8 stabs? I guess making it look painful is part of it. You have to make an example of them. That's probably the reason. When the nobles disperse, sated by the bloody performance, Abelard approaches you, steps firm. Lord Captain. You have my thanks. A trader would not waste his time on matters that his servants and trustees can resolve. But in this case, your intervention was necessary. Not just for the sake of my family, but for your trade dynasty as well. Regina Starbeck, evidently. Kuenrig's accomplices continue to plot against your protectorate. We have not heard the last of such scoundrels. Thanks to you, Lord Captain, House Surian is saved, although it came close to being wiped out as a result of scheming without and imprudence within. Abelard pauses for a moment, staring off into the distance. Sometimes I think about how much I could teach them, could ensure that they survive in the future without me. What you gonna do now? I need time to reflect upon what happened and the role I played in it. I think I'll be ready to resume this conversation later when we are back aboard the ship. I'll keep that in mind. Oh, we leveled. Yay. Go away. What do we get? Give me... I can't boost strength. That's a shame. Boost my... J and Cass have the best coercion. And my coercion's not terrible, I guess. Ulfar has marginally better athletics. Might be good for me to grab that. Gilead's got double my awareness. Corrals might be good. Corral's always a good thing. Yeah, Corrals is always good to pick. Coercion, we already picked that. No reason for commerce. I've hardly ever seen it be relevant. When it is, Jay's there. And when Jay's not there, Cass is also good enough. Demolition, well, reasons not to trust Ulfar with it. Pascal's got logic without Pat. My Imperium stat is a bit of an issue without Jay. And my warp is also a bit of an issue even with Jay. It's not like I can fix that. I'll take Corrals. Let's see, what do I want? Only 7? make it useful. I mean, even though I understand how it works now, where it kind of lies, apparently this is a lie. It doesn't do it at the beginning of each of the target's turns, it does it at the start of each of my turns. Apparently that's not... Apparently that's how it works. I mean, it could be useful, I suppose. I'd probably give it to... Juliet, though. She's got the best lethality, so she's got the best hemorrhage. This is also good, because I'm able to do like 200 damage per hit if I really need. I average like 150, I'm pretty sure. So just getting like free damage, it's been really nice on the early app. How's that scale? Lethality divided by 15, goodness. I should give that to Juliet's. She doesn't already have it. Does Juliet have that? I think I gave that to her. Alright, we'll take deadly calculation. You can have... How's your... You should buff your warp, because you're the best warp person that isn't Jay, and you have an equal stat, so you should buff it. Let's see, do you have... Yes. And there was something that... Keep your distance pretty good, but... You also have that. Let's see. Let's see, do you have all the good stats I just looked at? There's the direct damage one. There's the one that buffs the direct damage. What does it do again? Target suffers times 6. Oh, geez. So every time I hit you, you gain vulnerable on each vulnerable. That is pretty good, actually. And there was something that's like, if you have more than 100 lethality. Yes. Wait. Where was that one? With an attack that has 100 lethality or greater for the first time around. Yeah. That just gives me, effectively, 1 extra AP. Because she, by default, has more than 100. She's got like 145 or something. I believe. You, what are... You can also buff Krause, I guess. Just make you immune to all damage. Yeah. And I don't know what you would want. I mean, that seems good. Just have Endure, you gain 15 HP, and then next turn, you get 15 strength. Yeah, sure. Easy enough. You... buff your demolition. So you're my best demolition person. But even then, you're just still pretty good at it. A lot of your demolition checks aren't guaranteed. At least the ones that involve bombs, and those are the ones that matter. Take this one. I don't know how Arch Militants work, really. You should buff your coercion, maybe. Because you are my coercion person. Jay's not around. She's not going to be around for a while until we do request. And the only other thing you'd want to buff would be maybe... not Medicae. Persuasion. Persuasion's good. Yeah. Do I care about any of these? I don't think I do. Castigating, infusing, and devastating. I think, she's gonna be using this one the most. So, castigating 11. If I've got my math right, she's doing an additional 7 damage. Because 2 from cascading, 2 from willpower, 3 from perception. Yeah. So maybe that would be good. Gave you persuasion, didn't I? No, I gave you coercion. What was it? Did I already have it? And I just... An additional 1 damage for every 5 bonus characteristic. Yeah, sure. Pascal, you're the last one. Just buff your logic even more, I guess. Or your tech use, maybe? Logic will go into... No. Logic is... Logic and tech use are based on intelligence. I keep thinking logic is the intelligence stat. No. I've never had a problem with logic, but there's a lot more tech use ones, and they're going to be very high. Should I have this? Does Lidless Stare... Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, if I did this, then... Where was it? Daunting? That will stack with that and effectively have Global Stare have a minus 60 penalty, so that sounds good. If I can get it right. Alright, let's go talk to Abelard in the ship. Where are you, Abelard? There you are, Abelard.
Lord Captain, allow me to express my gratitude once again for your assistance. If it weren't for your intervention,
Didn't think you were voiced for a
my
second.
entire family could have been executed on false charges. I could have lost them all. I never imagined the Versarians would be so vulnerable while I serve as seneschal to the Lord Captain himself, far from home.
Spider-Man.
To tell you the truth, Lord Captain, this whole situation has got me thinking. As patriarch of the Versarian family, I have a responsibility to my bloodline. Yes, it is my duty to serve as seneschal to the rogue trader, and I have no intention of relinquishing that role if you find my service as satisfactory as did Lady Theodora. However, if I could be more involved in my family's affairs and still serve the von Valancius dynasty,
When did I say this? I mean, once the story is ended, you can do what you want, you know? Like, I don't care what happens post-credits. You can go with your family.
Thank you, Lord Captain. Under my watch, the Trade Protectorate will remain safe and prosper, in service to you.
Yay.
Well then, Lord Captain, it is time I return to my duties. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Nope.
Lord Captain.
Not yet, at least. I thought that would be more involved. Okay. Does anyone else have anything to say before we go? Talk to Marza. Right, that's... Yeah, let's go talk to him.
Rogue trader.
How you feeling about the warp ships, Jumps?
You dare to ask me that question? Every time this barge pierces the veil, I am left alone with all the nightmares of she who thirsts. It costs me all my fortitude and strength to fight them off, and there is never anyone at hand with whom I can indulge myself. Only cold walls and a sealed airlock.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna let you just kill people.
Since the first time, I've been slowly acclimatizing to voyaging through the veil. Only Monkey could have conceived of such a suicidal method of galactic travel. However, it is novel and exhilarating. At least now I know what I'm facing, and consequently, I will find a way to withstand it.
Hell yeah, dude, I like that attitude.
And now it is time to learn what is happening with the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest, leaderless and abandoned to the mercies of Camorra. The survivors will probably be driven into real space to fall prey to Silent Thresh. You must find them. If we encounter the remnants of the Cabal in this dimension, I will want to speak to them.
No problem, we'll see what I can do.
Then go. I will find something to amuse myself with.
You do that. Anyone got anything else to say? These are rumors, I don't care about those. The only direct thing to do is to go to Emelina's thing, which means... Hi, Nurx, you're joining the party again. So I'm gonna have to spend a while doing this. What is all your stats? Get carouse by default. Warriors always like carouse. Your athletics not good enough to pair up to Sigmund Olafar. Your demolition's terrible. Your awareness is terrible. Carouse is always good. Your Medicae's whatever. You're pretty dumb lore-wise. And yeah, just take carouse. Are you an Archmillicent? I didn't realize. I think willpower. Everyone else, I've already got 3 other warriors that can punch people. I'm gonna have you be the mage. If I can help it. Take that. Take another willpower buff. Uh... I guess you can take a lore war buff. Can I... When is this? 34. We're not level 34 yet, are we? I don't... Can you take any cool magic spells? Force weapon attacks deal 4 more damage, 20 more armor penetration. Costs no ID IP, but deals direct damage to the... Huh. Damaging psychic power. Its powers have 25% to regain AP. These obligations 10 or lower. Plus higher. That's interesting. Huh. Interesting. Hmm. Uh... I want to give him Psyker stuff, but I don't know which ones would be useful. And then, enemy adjacent to an ally dies. The ally gains a stacking corpus conversion effect. Multiple allies are adjacent to the dead enemy. Let's select it at random. Psyker's next psychic power. It targets only the target. Corpus conversion will work as if the Psyker's psi rating is 2 higher. Will not decorate the veil. I have no idea how that it actually works. How's that scale? I see. I can give him a force sword, probably. Take another willpower buff. Strength, I suppose. Take that. Easy. Now, simpler. What is your health? I should 70, huh? Might be worth it for whatchamacallit. I can't keep you Psychic Awakening, that's funny. I think this just means that only the Avatar can, because no one else can be. That's a little boring, but what can you do? Are there any of these that help Psyker stuff? I don't think so. Well, not directly, I mean. Take P condition, that's always good on warriors. You've already maxed out your Psi rating. Whenever an effect applied by the Psyker increases the damage suffered by a target, this effect is increased by half. I can't think of anything that would do that off the top of my head. We don't do much healing. We don't do much healing at all, actually. This might be good. Did I not pick this one? Sure, okay. Let's give you some proper stuff. This Force Sword, not very good. But probably have a decent one, right? I don't know. Yes. That one's better. But it's also the only one there, so I guess it's the only other Force Sword I have. It does extra damage. Why is that not scaling? Does this hurt? Increases veil degradation by 4. Each area attack. So every time I use cleave. This does an additional 4 damage, and then I got the other thing. This basically does up to 30, maybe even more. Okay. You can have that. That gun is awful. You want a better gun. Are there Force guns? Do you want another gun? I can't see any good guns that he's allowed to use, at least. You don't need a shotgun. Everyone else has a shotgun. But this gun's so bad. It's like a level 1 gun. Surely something else would be better. That isn't two-handed. That's a little better, I guess. Alright. I think we are going to do this later. And by later, I mean Monday, same time, noon central. I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back Monday, same time, noon central. Yeah, I'm bad at outros. I am especially bad today. No problem. Best student, it was nice to have you. Hope to see you Monday. Have a good rest of your day.